Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody today? Welcome to the post bad game stream. Hello, everyone. What's up? It's me. It's Matt. How are you? How are you? It's nice to see you all. How's everyone doing today? Sahand, hello. Boomy, hello. Christopher, hello. Dianus, hello. How are you? How is everyone? Yeah, I hope everyone is doing well. Hope everyone's had a good week. Hope everyone has been having a nice weekend so far. I have. Yeah, I hope you're all doing well. How is everyone? Who's had the nicest weekend so far out of everyone? That's what I want to know. Who's had the nicest weekend? That's the only important thing is we can work out who's the happiest of all of us. What am I talking about? Yeah, how is everyone? Rao, hello. Hero, hello. Future, hello. Crazy Cathandris, hello. How is everybody? I can see some questions in the chat already. I will get to all of your questions. Let me outline what we're going to do today. We're obviously going to talk some bad video games because this is the post bad game stream, and I've prepared another little funky presentation to guide us through the things I want to talk about. So we're going to talk about like a few things. We're going to talk about the video. We're going to talk about some of the stuff that's come off the back of the video. So reply to some of the comments, reply to some of the ideas that were brought up in the comments, talk about some of the stuff that didn't make it into the video, that sort of thing, and talk about what comes next, what comes after. Hopefully it'll be like a fun little couple hours for us here on your Sunday lunch, I think, if you're in the Pacific, on the Pacific coast of America, and late afternoon, I think, if you're on the Atlantic coast. This is the first time I've ever tried to like put out. Usually I just do all the times like in British time. This is the first time I've ever tried to include the American times on it, because I think like 60% of my audience is like American. So I was trying to be kind and like expand my my time of, like, I don't know what you would call it, like how I advertise myself, I guess. So hopefully that was appreciated. I don't know if anyone even noticed because it was right at the end of the video. But yeah, so we had a few questions. I guess we'll just chat for a bit, and we'll give it a while for sort of people to filter in, I suppose, and then we can get stuck into the meat of the stream, which is this hefty presentation I've cooked up for you. If this is your first time watching an I Finished a Video Game stream, you'll be introduced to the fact that for some reason I love putting together a janky ass presentation to go alongside what I'm talking about. I think it gives this kind of like fun shitty vibe to the streams. But yeah, so we got that lined up for us. How's everything sound and picture wise? Is that all right for everybody? Like, I know last time I streamed, I think it was like maybe 3 weeks ago or something like that. We had some like pretty horrible delay problems, but I think it's okay this time. I'm not seeing any complaints, which I think is a good thing. Where was it? That was 3 weeks ago. Damn, 3 weeks ago, really? So much has changed in that time. Yeah, so let me reply to some of these questions. Love your videos. As someone who worked on Evolve, I'd like to correct your bad game video. Spencer Bonassi. What was I didn't think I said anything crazy about Evolve, did I? I feel like it was pretty on the money. I think so. I'm interested to hear though, all the same. Fire away. We got 020. Am I saying that right? I don't know. I don't think I am. Hey Matt, I appreciate your humane treatment of Bubsy 3D. Always thought that game had some overlooked potential, and growing up it gave me some fun memories, despite being so bad. Thanks as always. Well, thanks very much for the kind comment. I appreciate that. The Baldur's 3. Hey man, I like your stuff. I didn't really feel like watching a whole video on bad video games. Didn't get to watch it as a result. Well, my friend, you might be surprised by it, because it is not as negative as you might think. It's my whole aim with it was to really try and make like a video about bad games that was like more kind of positive, really, like not trying to be like apologetic or excuse these games. I think that's something that I've seen has come up in the comments quite a lot, that people think I'm trying to like excuse these games, but that's definitely not the thing I'm trying to do. I'm kind of just trying to understand beyond just, oh, these games are shit, like, you know, like they're weeds that pop up from the ground for no reason, like trying to understand like the reasons that go into making a bad game. Oh, here we go. 2K was the one pushing for microtransactions, but we made sure that all of them were only skins, nothing affected gameplay. Journalists focused on the game launching with $300 worth. I mean, that's a fair point. I don't think it contradicts anything I said in the game. I mean, I said that it was a paid game with a lot of microtransactions in it, which at the time it launched was, you know, a bigger deal than that might be like now. I think that doesn't necessarily contradict anything I said in the video. Skins in the store, instead of learning the deep systems we put in the game, learning all the lore and world building that's put in as well, it was a sad situation. I mean, to be fair, I agree. In the video, I say that I enjoyed playing Evolve. Like, I definitely did. But it's also not really possible to like get away from the fact that it like wasn't a success as a live service, and it was a very early example of like a live service game that didn't quite capture the audience that it was designed to capture, and you know, kind of. I feel harsh saying failed, but like it didn't turn into the experience it was supposed to turn into, and the whole point of that section of the video is illustrating the live service model, you know, failing and producing games and questioning what is like a modern bad game. Like, are these games that are beautifully made with all this effort put into them and nice graphics and clever gameplay, can they be bad games if the model underneath them leads to them not succeeding in what they're supposed to be doing? I don't think that necessarily. I don't think that doesn't fit with what you're saying, really. But hey, whatever. I appreciate the tone of the video. I think on most cases, developers are trying their best with the deadlines they had. I mean, that's my take on it, to be honest. That's my personal take, is that, yeah, I think people aren't trying to make bad games. And bad games kind of... there's a lot of reasons that can cause bad games to come out. Just want to correct the video in the sense of it not being Turtle Rock pushing microtransactions. It wasn't modeled as a live service. Love the video, though, don't get me wrong. For sure. I think... Okay, that maybe I can get on board with. I think maybe I probably should have stated that it was 2K who pushed that model rather than Turtle Rock. I think actually to be honest, thinking about that section of the video, I think I talk about Turtle Rock's desire to what they're trying to make with the game, and I don't bring up 2K, which maybe that isn't completely fair, especially as I think with the other live services, there's definitely a distinction between developer and publisher, which I think maybe I haven't done with Evolve. So maybe that's on me. Yeah. So fair point on that. Well, we're off to a good start with the stream, guys. I'm already apologizing. Yeah. I've definitely noticed that with this video, there's been not like, it's definitely the sort of video that throws up like disagreement. I think like I've noticed there's like way more comments on this video than I would have expected for the amount of views. Like, it seems like the sort of video that really like prompts people to post their take or to disagree with things that they don't agree with. Feels like the kind of thing, like, how many comments has it got? It's got 2,200 comments off of 350 or so thousand views, which if you compare that to, say, well, oh, that's Smarty. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I'm starting game dev this year, so my video helped. Oh, well, I'm really pleased that it could help influence you a little bit. Don't take my word for it though. Make sure you watch some actual game dev stuff. I'm just I don't actually know how to make games, so don't take too much influence from me. But I am really pleased you enjoyed the video. What was I saying? Oh yes, I was talking about the comments. So yes, the Dishonored video has 100,000 more views, but it has half the amount of comments. So I think there's definitely something about this topic that like prompts people to want to like give their perspective, disagree with things. I think broadly speaking, I've really enjoyed the discussion that the videos like prompted. I think there's been some like really interesting like perspectives, especially on like, we'll get to this in the presentation, but especially on some of the like Oscar Wilde stuff, like the quote that kind of prompts the investigation. There's been some really interesting like pushback against that, which I have enjoyed reading. I found very interesting. There has also been some not quite as good perspectives dropped on the video as well, but I mean we can get to that in a minute. It's nothing like bad. I mean, I've literally just had one now that's just like some people. What are some people doing? Why do some people comment such nonsense on YouTube? But yeah, it's been a fun video. I basically spent all week, like my week has basically been like chilling out, doing some stuff that I had been putting off for a while, relaxing a little bit and basically just replying to comments. And it's been quite fun. It's been quite good. I think there's definitely something to be said for like in this like retrospective space, like you kind of foster quite like a thoughtful community. I think like I'm always surprised by how like insightful some of the comments are. I'm always like, why am I the one who's making the videos when the comments are producing like far more like poignant and interesting things than I'm coming up with. Also, I can't remember if I spoke about this on the last video, but I've had to change. I'm trying to stop drinking fizzy drinks, so I've had to change to like one of those like zero sugar, zero artificial, 0 calorie fruit drinks, and like, man, it's not cutting it. But I've got to break the addiction somehow. What are your favorite rushed buggy games? Oh man, I think I've already covered, to be honest, on the channel like my favorite like rushed buggy game. Well, not rushed, but like broken buggy game of all time, which is Alpha Protocol. That's my favorite. Like that game is like completely busted. Like it's got like some terrible design issues. Like there's elements of the game that like don't work properly. Like the hand-to-hand combat is just like absolutely dreadful. But it's just so fun, and like the core design of it is like so engaging. So I've almost sort of spoiled it, because the entire premise of the Alpha Protocol video was that like games don't have to be functional to be good. Like, and so the sort of conclusion of that is like some of the best games ever made, like Breath of the Wild and Bloodborne, have like horrendous frame rate problems, and games like Fallout New Vegas and Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines have like real big like actual problems like staying running. And so in this video I didn't want to like retread that. Like that could have been like a section in this video of itself, like games that are like functionally bad but like design wise they're good. But I decided not to put that in, just because I was like, I've already done like a whole video like on this subject. Like it would be weird as well to be like, oh, if you're interested in this subject, you can go and watch my Alpha Protocol video. But like, I just thought, I'll just leave it out. Like it's such a big subject. Like there's so much you could like talk about that I'm just like, I'm not gonna be able to cover everything, am I? So we'll leave some stuff on the cutting room floor. do you record at once or by day, splitting the video? I guess your voice gets a bit different if you record the next day. What do you think? From Rahul. No, I split my recording out. You can't. I found that you can't record much more than like, I mean, maybe like 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes in a day, like without your voice starting to really get like croaky and weak and sounding kind of bad. But your voice doesn't really change day to day, so I don't think it ever shows in the video. Like some of the like longer videos, like the Metroid video and the Castlevania video, they were recorded over like weeks because of how long they are, and I don't think it shows in the video. Like I think it sounds like consistent the whole way through, but maybe that's like a practice thing as well. Like I've recorded a fair few hours of YouTube at this point. I think like, oh, it'd be interesting to know how many hours I have recorded. I'm not going to add it up now, but I don't actually know. But so maybe I'm just getting used to like projecting my voice in like the right way. So yeah, what's your take on the Nintendo Switch 2 and $80 games? Here in Portugal, Mario Kart World will cost €90. It's ridiculous. That's an interesting question. I think that I'm not as upset maybe because I think it's just inevitable. Like if it wasn't Nintendo raising the price, it would just happen with Grand Theft Auto 6. Like there's no way Grand Theft Auto 6 is coming out for like anything less than like $70. It probably will release for like $80, I guarantee. Like it's just, the thing is that they're just, this path can't be like reversed. I don't see companies lowering their price. There will be no kind of like consumer backlash of people not buying games, because the thing is that video game companies can just drop their prices to back down, like to capture those people that aren't willing to buy it. So it's like completely risk free for them to just launch these games at like extremely high costs, because they're just testing the water to find out like what is the like total upper limit of what people will pay for a game. So it's like when they revealed it, it's like, wow, that is expensive, but also like I'm not surprised. And yeah, it would have happened anyway. It sucks that it happens, because like, you know, the reality is that without needing to get like too political or whatever, like the global economy is like not like super great right now, and people don't have like tons of spending money, and it kind of sucks that you'll get to a situation where like people can't really like buying a game has to become something which you're doing like maybe like once a year or twice a year, especially with like games becoming like kind of more content like light in many ways. Like games, especially some Nintendo games, like they're great. Like I am a huge Nintendo fan, don't get me wrong, but like some of the like non-top tier like Zelda, Mario ones can be quite like short experiences, and so it's like it can be a bit like tricky, like because you're gonna spend like, I don't know, like if I think about like Luigi's Mansion 3, like Luigi's Mansion 3 is like an amazing game, but it's like it's quite like it's a very sort of like tight semi-short like experience. If that launched for like $70-$80, like that's pretty brutal, like in terms of what you're actually getting. So it's tough. Like I totally understand why people are really annoyed about it. Like just feels like everything in life these days is trying to fleece you, you know, like everything is just crazy expensive. See, where do we get to? I'm sorry, by the way, if you ask a question and I miss it because I'm talking, you can just ask again. That's totally fine. I don't mind asking. Don't spam the chat or anything. But like, if you really want your question to be answered and I miss it, then just ask again. Oh, Spencer Benassi. Meanwhile, Claire Obscure Expedition 33 seems to have returned to small studios making huge passion projects for $50. Nice to see real passion for single-player experiences. Absolutely. I have been playing a lot of that game this week, and I think it's absolutely fantastic. We'll talk about it a bit in the presentation, but yeah, what a smashing game that is, and so cool to see like a small studio a small studio making something that like really catches on like in the mainstream. Like I've obviously done like a video about like Mortal Shell. Like I love these games that are like in between like indie and like the sort of AAA corpo publisher space. Like I love it when people like have like AAA ambitions for their small team, and the fact that they've actually made it work is like it's so cool. Like obviously I'm like a huge JRPG guy as well, so the fact that someone's basically done like kind of Sekiro, Lost Odyssey, French fantasy RPG with Robert Pattinson. It's so good. It's such a great game. I highly recommend it for anyone who hasn't picked it up. Like even if you're not like massively in turn-based games, to be honest, I think sometimes like describing it as turn-based is like a bit like it's not really like doing it justice, because like yeah, okay, you take it in turns, but like you can't just like sit and like watch something on your phone like while grinding in this game. Like regular enemies will like kick your ass, like if you don't parry, if you don't like dodge, if you don't jump over like certain attacks, like if you don't land your timing things and you don't pick the right like moves at the right time. Like it's pretty good. Yeah, I highly recommend it. I think even someone who's not massively into RPGs could get a lot out of that game. Hello everyone, Emil Forsberg, hey there, how's it going? Project Enigma, hello, how are you guys? Jolene, did you play the Prince of Persia Lost Crown DLC? No, much to my embarrassment, I haven't actually played it yet. I think I made a little bit of a mistake with the Lost Crown, in that because I covered it for a video, and because I had to like play through it like a couple of times for like footage and to like form my notes and stuff when talking about it, I think I kind of burnt out a little bit on it, and then when the DLC dropped, I kind of like didn't really want to like dive back in, which is kind of annoying. I wish I hadn't done that. I think maybe covering newer games, I think the trick is to kind of like wait until they're fully out there in the wild, because I think everything I've heard about the DLC is that it's really good, and that it like fixes some of the story complaints that I have. I would really like to play it. I just need to find the time to be honest. Hope I'm not spamming chat too much. Do you intend to do a video on a series again? I love your Metroid and Castlevania videos. Yes, I mean, I do. Yeah, I definitely do have plans to do that. The only trouble is, we spoke about this a bit like a couple of weeks ago. Like, YouTube has kind of changed a little bit since I released those videos, and it can be a bit difficult to put like 3 or 4 months into a video like that. It can be a bit like tough on your finances, put it that way. You basically have to go without releasing a video for like a really long time, which in the case of like really big like channels with like millions of subscribers who have like Patreons where they're getting like $10,000 a month or whatever, like that's totally fine. They can go years without publishing a video. It's not going to impact them at all. But that's not really the situation with I finished a video game. Like I'm very much at the bottom end of the YouTube economic scale, so I have to kind of think carefully about when I do those. But I do have plans to do them. I've got like there's thumbnails made up for like Silent Hill, for like Legacy of Kain, stuff like that. Like I've done like brief plans for like Star Wars games and stuff like that. There's definitely plans. It's not something I'm not going to do again. It's just we got to get the channel into a place where I can disappear for 3 months to do something like that. Any plans on streaming and completing the whole game live? I know playing alone is more enjoyable, but what's your point of view? To that, no, probably not. I've spoken a few times about this, but like the actual process of like doing the research for these videos, I think would be really boring to watch live, like as a stream. Like I think it's something that maybe sounds like it would be interesting in theory, but I think actually sitting there and like watching me play a game, pause, write some notes on my laptop, like play the game for a bit, pause, like think about like something else, like go back, replay a level. Like I don't think this would be like would be very interesting. Kind of streaming and like playing a game with a video in mind are quite different experiences. One's like entertainment and the other one isn't, I think. So yeah, I think I probably won't do that. I mean, I would quite like to get into like streaming some games. I've thought about maybe doing like a sort of live retrospective. Like if I have a game where I can kind of like sort of prepare some stuff about the game. I think it would be fun to do like a live retrospective where we play through the game, and at certain points in the game there's like points we can go to with like interviews, and like we could get like the devs in to talk about a certain section, like stuff like that. I think that could be really cool, but that would need quite a lot of planning, and I also don't want to do that yet. Do you wish you'd waited on releasing the Metroid retrospective until recently, now that we've officially seen Prime 4 on Switch 2? No, I think it's fine. Like, I don't think it necessarily means that video doesn't have any like value to it. I think it's fine. It won't be the first time that like more games have come out like since I've released a video. Like that'll happen with Onimusha eventually, and obviously it happened with Indiana Jones, and Castlevania got like the Haunted Castle remake and some DS ports and stuff like that. So it happens. I think the reality is, if you want to know like 90% of the story of Metroid, that video will still be like basically have value in it. And also the truth is, I don't even think many people are like watching it now either. So it's like I think it like ran its course. Like Metroid is quite a niche series, so I think, yeah, I don't really know. Like, I think it's fine. I'm fine with it, to be honest. It doesn't bother me that much when that happens. Like, yeah. When you play a game for the first time, do you take time to make notes and think about it, or is the first time just playing it like you would without making a video? No, I pretty much make notes the whole way through, like from a first play. I think sometimes like your gut reaction to stuff can be like the most important thing. Like I think, for example, when I was doing the Dishonored video, something that I kept noting down later on in the process was how easy I was finding the game. Like I was finding it to be insanely easy, and the reality is that there's no way to like get around that, because if you play through a game 2 or 3 times, like one after the other, and you're also noting down pretty much everything, so you're just learning the game inside out, like it's inevitable that the game just becomes way easier. So I think if I had skipped over my experiences from the first time I played the game, I'd have missed maybe like the more intended difficulty, like player game relationship, because I played the game so much. So no, I think it's quite important to not just play it and then make notes later, because there's stuff that you won't be able to replicate. Hopefully that makes sense. I'd love to see a Tomb Raider retrospective. That series is full of ups and downs, especially since brought by Embracer Group and the recent Netflix adaptation. I think Tomb Raider could be interesting. I think it's very long, so again, it would be like a very big series. Like the thing is that like you get to the end of it, and I think the most modern like 3 Tomb Raider games, they're like 25 hours each long. So that's like 70 hours just those 3 games. So that's 70 hours of footage, 70 hours of note taking, 70 hours of like like research that would need to go into them. So even though the earlier games are shorter and more straightforward, it would be a very big project. I think franchise-wise, I would really like to do another like licensed one, like sort of in the style of the X-Men and Indiana Jones ones. I've always thought about doing like an Alien versus Predator video. I think that would be really fun, like doing like the Alien and Predator games together, because there's some really interesting games. There's some really interesting modern ones. There's some really interesting like old school ones. There's like a really cool spread of genres. There's some games that are like absolutely dreadful. There's some that are like that I don't think people will realize. There's some that they're as good as they are. So it reminds me a bit of like the Indiana Jones video, where you sort of think like, oh, that's not really like a proper video game series, and then you realize there's like 30 games in a series, and like some of the most influential like arcade beat 'em ups and like first person shooters of all time are in that series. So I think that would be cool at some point. Maybe that's like a good like Halloween video. I think that could make for a good one. Did you watch the Devil May Cry show? No, I didn't. I heard that it wasn't very good. I don't know much about it, to be honest, just because I'm not like a massive TV watcher, like full stop. Like I think my three main like media hobbies are like playing video games, reading, and watching movies. And I'm not I'm not massively into TV as much. So I don't watch like huge amounts. I do watch some TV. Like there is stuff that I have watched over the years, obviously. But yeah, and I'm not like super up to date with stuff. And I didn't watch Devil May Cry. I just think it's a bit of a weird idea, really, because it's like Devil May Cry is like a series that you want to like play, like not necessarily watch. Like part of what makes Devil May Cry so good is that like you are playing as Dante, like styling out on like enemies and like trying to get like a really high combo and stuff. And like, yeah, it has really cool like gothic like aesthetics and this like sweet like demon story. But like the main draw of Devil May Cry is the gameplay. It doesn't scream like Netflix adaptation to me. Like, you know, like something like The Witcher, like I kind of it makes sense why Netflix adapted The Witcher, because there's like lots of story stuff you can adapt. But Devil May Cry is weird. Like that's not the main reason people like Devil May Cry. I don't know, but who knows? Maybe they carved something good out of it. I haven't watched it, so I don't know. But that's my skeptical gut reaction. Do you think if you started a Witcher series retrospective that you'd be able to get it out before Joseph Anderson releases part 2 of his Witcher 3 critique? No, I don't think I would. And I don't think I would ever do The Witcher either, because as much as I love The Witcher, on YouTube, it's so completely tied to Joseph Anderson that, like, if you make a video about The Witcher, it will just be filled with comments about Joseph Anderson's Witcher review. And I think that's a bit like, that's not like super fun. I think like you want to be like unique and be doing your own thing. So I think you just let that happen over there. As much as I like The Witcher and I think The Witcher is a great series, I just enjoy it. Let him do the video treatment for it. Can we see some of the games on the shelf behind you? I mean, there's a lot there. There's a lot. I don't know which ones we could see. I think I always end up showing a few of them, but maybe not today. There are 2 types of video essays: Fallout New Vegas or Witcher 3. Everything else doesn't matter. No, you've missed it. There's a 3rd type, which is like why Super Mario 64 is secretly horrifying, or like the liminal horror of Ocarina of Time, something like that. There's that kind as well. Emil Forsberg, just wanted to say, amazing video. The way you speak about video game history is the reason this is my favorite channel on YouTube right now. Your Panzer Dragoon video had a lot of that. If you do more of this, rock on, man. Thank you very much, man. I really appreciate that. That's very kind of you. Yeah, I don't know what to say beyond that. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that, and especially showing some love to the Panzer Dragoon video. I love that video. It's like it doesn't get the headlines. It doesn't get the big views, but I love the Panzer Dragoon video. That's a series that I've like. That's one where like I was gonna like when I started the channel, I was like, oh, I know I definitely want to talk about Panzer Dragoon at some point. And I think when I made it, there wasn't even really many videos on YouTube like talking about Panzer Dragoon, like especially as like a series. Yeah, I'm really glad that I got to do like the whole story of the whole series, and like talk about like Yukio Fututsugi in like more detail, and talk about Saga in more detail. Like it was cool. I like that. Hey man, love your videos. Haven't really tuned in too closely beyond the YouTube uploads, with the exception of hearing about your health issues. How are you doing now? Yes, I'm doing much better. I've been out of treatment for 4 months now, 5 months, and I'm just like being monitored. I've got my next scan this week, so hopefully that's all clear and I can chill until my next scan, which is like 3 or 4 months after that, I think. But yeah, generally speaking, okay. Like I got like, we don't need to get into it because it's like kind of depressing, but like, you know, there's obviously like things that affect you afterwards that you need to like wait to be resolved. But like, you know, nothing as serious as like am I going to die of cancer? So yeah, the fact that that's not the situation anymore is good. But yeah, thank you very much for asking. What's your favorite and least favorite video you've made? Sorry for asking again. No worries at all. My favorite video I've made is the Vagrant story video. I think that's like basically like, I'm not saying it's like a perfect YouTube video, but I think that's like a perfect I finished a video game video. That's like everything I want it to be. Like it's like history, and it's like character study, and it's like critique of the game, but it's also like storytelling of the game and appreciating it for its like unique elements, but also kind of contextualizing it in the video game industry. And I think I really just like that video loads. I think that's the best video I've ever made, and I'll be amazed if I ever make anything that good again. My least favorite video is probably the X-Men video, because I had cancer while I was making that. And it was really, really fucking hard to make a really long, interesting, cohesive video while you have cancer and you are having a bunch of surgeries and you're very unwell and depressed. So I would say that's definitely my least favorite. You know, even more so than like some of the videos that maybe didn't come together. Like there's like the quick fire retrospective video, which was like a bit of a like experiment, and there's like, I don't know, there's like the Dota video, which is like kind of like not really like the not really like the style of the channel, you know. But like I think I still don't like the X-Men video more, just because of everything that was going on in my life. Also, it's not a good video. Oh, thanks very much, dude. That's really lovely of you. That's definitely what I wanted to hear. You're supposed to say like, no, we love that video. Like that's a great video. You're being too harsh on yourself. You're not supposed to be like, yeah, that one is shit. Right. So, shall we think about having a look at this funny little presentation that I have prepared for you all, where we talk about the video in a bit more detail? Would you like to see more behind the curtain of bad video games and what's coming next on the channel? We can do that now if you'd like, or if people still have more questions, you can do questions. You can do questions if you want. Let me know in the chat. What do you want to do? Do we want to move on to bad video game discussion, or do people have more pressing, urgent questions that I need to answer? Did you ever think that it'd be Parasite Eve that would be the one to pop off so much more than the others? Absolutely not. I still have absolutely no idea why that video has as many views as it does. It has over 10 million views. That's absurd. I have no idea why. Like something about Parasite Eve, the PS1, horror games, everything all going together just clicked and connected, and it exploded in the algorithm. I have no idea why. I wish I did, because I could do it again and have another one have another one be that successful. But I think you just have to like not take it for granted. Just like you just have to like be happy that that's happened to one of your videos, you know. Yeah, I'm happy about it. Is YouTube your full-time job now? Yes, it is. It has been for a while. About 3 years, I think 3 years ago. No, that's not right. It's like two and a bit. I think I started doing it just over 3 years, but yeah, maybe like 2.5 years ago, I think I started doing this full time, and it's been pretty good. Like I've been able to pay my mortgage and pay my bills, and you know, have a, broadly speaking, nice life from it. You know, me and Steph we're pretty like simple people, so you know, we don't like need like loads to be happy. You know, we don't need to be like driving around in like a really expensive car, or like buying loads of really like fancy clothes. Like look, this t-shirt's like, I bought this like years ago, and like the neck is like starting to fall in here, but like I'm not gonna get rid of it until it's like literally falling apart. We drive like a really crappy old tiny car because it still runs. You know, like I'm not like over here like, yes, I gotta be drowning in money. Like I need millions and millions of pounds to live. Like, you know, no £5 million mansion with a tennis court. No, No. I mean, that would be foolish because the park near us has a like a concrete tennis court in it, which you can rent from the council. So if you want to play tennis, just go down there. Don't buy a house with them. Their Magic the Gathering cards are expensive though. You caught me out, George. That is true. Magic the Gathering is my vice. Although to be fair, I don't spend that much money on Magic the Gathering. I definitely will spend like money on like a good card, but that's like an investment, especially if you play. Well, it's not an investment. It's literally not an investment. But the point is that they can last you. You know, if you get like a really good like £15 Magic the Gathering card, you can use that in decks for like years and years and years. But yeah, it's maybe not the best use of money. But I don't spend as much as some people. I think I'm quite chill with it. I'm not constantly making new decks. I'm not constantly like buying into like. I don't play standard. I don't play modern. You know, so like I think I'm somewhat reasonable with it. It's definitely like there's definitely some people who Magic the Gathering is like what do they call it, like card crack, where they like can't stop buying it because of like the dopamine rush off of buying cards. Panzer Dragoon Secret Lair. Okay, yeah. Well, admittedly, if they did Panzer Dragoon Secret Lair, the money would be out of my account faster than faster than they would even put the page live. No Commander? No, I do play Commander, but because of the way Commander works, like, I don't think you need to spend like that much money over. Like I've been playing Commander for like 10 years. So like some of the cards I have that are like worth money, I got like 10 years ago for pennies. So you if you're playing long term and you're clever about it, like it doesn't have to cost you that much. Don't get geo-guessed. It's okay. I don't think anyone could geo-guess where I live off of there being a park, especially in Britain. There's parks everywhere. You know. Right. Maybe let's dive into this presentation then. I do really need a Wii though. I should have definitely gone for a Wii before I came on stream. What a foolish move. You can tell I'm not like a streamer. I should have prepared myself. I got a drink, but I didn't go to the toilet. We need to we definitely used to do this this thing where that we gave the chat like a topic to discuss while I went for a wee. What would be a good topic to discuss? Okay, here's a good topic to discuss for the chat. What was the best game covered in the video? That's a good topic. Like in a video about bad games, what was the best game in it? I think that's a good yeah, the quiz. Yes, the quiz stream. Yeah, Future Echo. I forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot that just before we started the quiz, everybody who was doing the quiz needed to go for a wee because none of us went before the stream started. I totally forgot about that. That's hilarious. I've got the VOD saved of that on my computer somewhere. I might have to go back and watch that. I need to do the quiz stream again. Like the quiz stream was really, really fun. I think that's one of the funnest things I've done on the channel. Even though it was like really small, like barely anybody saw it. It was so funny. I really enjoyed doing that. I need to do it again. Maybe I'll do like a charity one in the summer or something like that. Like I'll put out the feelers to some YouTube buddies and see where we get to. Right, okay, I will be right back in just a second. Argue amongst yourself about the best game in the video. You need to give like a reason as well. You can't just say the game. You have to give a proper reason. Right, I will be right back in a second. I was muted. I was talking and I was muted. How embarrassing. I said there was a super chat while I was gone. Hans Johansson. Thank you very much for that. That's really kind of you. Thanks for the awesome videos. Best value per hour I know of. Thank you very much, my friend. I really appreciate that. Yeah. Did you guys come to a conclusion about what was the worst game? Did you come to a conclusion? I don't think you did. That's fine. We don't need to agree. We don't need to agree on what the worst or best game is. I was too fast. I obviously really needed to go, didn't I? Right. Should we do this should we do this presentation and we can talk about the video in a little bit more detail? Would you guys like that? Consensus seems to be Bubsy 3D for the best of the worst. Really? Not one of the live service games? I'm surprised by that. Or like you know, Connect Adventures like kind of works like well, you know? Or maybe well, yeah, one of the live service games probably. I mean, not the ones that got shut down, obviously. But there was talk of like FIFA, like that's a pretty functional game. There could be an argument that that's the best one. Nobody remembers the live service games. I mean, that's pretty fair enough. Right. Shall we talk then? Here we go. Look, here we are. The post-bad video game streaming debrief, where we discuss bad games. Yes, welcome to the presentation debrief, where we're gonna work out what we think about the video, what happened, what were some of the interesting points raised in the comments, what were some of the not so interesting points raised by me, what would I do different. Yes, it's PowerPoint time indeed. So yeah, strap yourself in, guys. Right, let's go. Oh, that's not right. How do I do it? I click. There we go. Oh, before we get started, did you all catch the streaming thumbnail? I hope designed by a friend of the channel, Francisco Rivera. So I hope I said that right, by the way. He goes by Warlock. He's an artist that hangs out in the Discord, and he did this amazing piece of art for the stream, which I absolutely love. So in case you just joined and you didn't see it before the stream went live, here's the thumbnail again. I think it's so fucking cool. Like I'm excited to do more of these post video streams just so that we can get more of these stream thumbnails, because holy shit, this is an awesome one. I showed it to Steph and she was like, why is ET like looming over everybody else? And I'm like, is it not funny to have ET looming over everyone like he does over the video game industry at large? I love it. And to be fair, if you look really close, like the detail on some of these characters is crazy good. Like look at the fur on Bubsy and the Cheetah Man. Like that is so good. Yeah, obviously smashed it. Yeah, the dead soulless eyes of Superman. Yeah, I mean, for sure. Looks like Star Wars movie cover art. That's very true, yeah. I see Tracer there for some reason. Yeah, I mean, you'll have to excuse some of the characters maybe come from a version of the script that was different. The games that got like covered and ones that didn't was a bit like fluid. Like you can also see like Balan from Balan Wonderworld. And that obviously didn't make it into the video. but yeah, hell yeah, what a cool piece of art. Anyway, so let's crack on. So the first thing to say is that for some reason this video has like done extremely well. Like I have no idea why, but it's like for some reason people have absolutely like gobbled it down. Like it has so many views after less than a week, which I really don't understand why. I guess people just like bad video games. It's kind of strange. But yeah, I'm not complaining about it. It's nice to have a video that's like doing really well. It's been a while since I've had one like pop off like massively. And yeah, it's pretty cool. Like 350,000 views in less than a week is like pretty unheard of for this channel. Like usually the videos have like a pretty like long tail rather than them like coming out and just like exploding in views like straight away. That's like usually not really how they work. They like take a while to work their way into like people's algorithms and stuff. So it's kind of crazy to see one have so many views so quickly. Like I definitely don't think it's like gonna like go to like, you know, it's that I don't think this is gonna be like a 1 million view video or like or anything like that. I doubt it will ever get to that. But like even if it doesn't get any more views from here, like it's been quite like a gratifying experience. So yeah, so that's nice. So what have I been doing in the week since? Well, I have been playing a lot of Clair Obscur. I don't know, obviously people have been talking it up quite a lot, but hell yeah, it's super good. I cannot recommend it more to people. If you or even have a passing interest in RPGs, you have to check out this game. It's so good. You know, the fact that it was made by so few people who are just crazy passionate about this genre. It's like the kind of game, like, I hate to say it, but like it's the kind of game that people really need to like get behind. Like it's the perfect opportunity to really like send a message to publishers about the kind of experiences that people want out of video games. People want stuff that's like meaningful, that's been designed with passion and love, that isn't just like meant to be like a cookie cutter, like trend following, like exercise in squeezing profit out of people. Like, and it doesn't necessarily mean that has to just be about JRPGs, but the philosophy behind Clair Obscur, you could apply that to any other genre and you could hopefully still have the same thing. Like if you had a studio that like loved stealth games and really wanted to make like the incredible stealth experience, and they wanted to like, this is basically the way that I think we can get stuff like that we can tell publishers that we're interested in like unique, quirky experiences that are made with love. So yeah, I've been absolutely slamming it, and I'm probably going to do that after the stream, to be honest, because it's been very fun. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've been replying to a lot of comments. You probably see that in the comments under the video that I've been like talking with a lot of people. Like I still still reply to everybody basically, whether they're leaving a nice comment or a horrible comment. And I think that's pretty good. Like the good comments, they're obviously like, that goes without saying, they're great to reply to. Like it's very nice to talk to people, very nice to like recognize people in the comments, very nice to hear what people have thought and like what thoughts the video has like prompted in them. It's like it's pretty it's really good. I would say on this video the negative comments have been a bit harder to deal with, just because they've been like, I think because the video has reached like people who don't typically watch like this kind of video. There's definitely been more sort of like weirdness in the comments. But you know, I still done my due diligence. Like I still tried to see what they're trying to say, still tried to like talk them down. Sometimes there's nothing you can do but just like reply and just be like, what, like whatever, man, like what the fuck are you talking about? But you know, I still try to, most of the time, try to explain where I'm coming from, even if they disagree. What else have I been doing? I've been enjoying some nice weather. It's been nice weather here in Britain. Yesterday wasn't super nice, but you know, it's been good to go outside. You know, it's been nice to just not be inside editing. So I've actually gone out and got fresh air and touched grass, as the kids say, and that's been good. I think that's pretty healthy for me. And I've also been spending time with my wife, because, you know, I thought I would just put this in here just so that in the future there is actually evidence that I am not a lonely man sitting alone in my room making making videos that no one in their right mind would ever watch. I do actually have a partner in life. So anyway, on to the comments. We've already sort of spoken about this, but I wanted to sort of talk about some of the... that's clearly a paid actress. I've set myself up now, haven't I? It is. So I wanted to talk about some of the like big kind of themes that have come through in the comments and give my thoughts on them, because there has been some really, really good comments and some stuff I want to talk about. So the first one is there's been a lot of talk about the quote at the start of the video. You know, the bad art is a great deal worse than no art. And I think there's been some confusion with people thinking, I think, obviously the fault must be with how I've written it in the video, but I think people think that I think that, and that the video is about showing that that is like the case. That's not really why I use that quote. Like, the quote is meant to be kind of like a prompt to investigate like what is worse. Why does bad art exist? That sort of thing, you know. Like I think it's been interesting to sort of see people be like, oh no, like I don't really agree with that quote. Like you shouldn't have used it. I'm a bit like it's not what I meant. Like, I didn't mean that I agree with this quote. I mean that it's like the prompt that I used as a jumping off point. Yeah, and I would have hoped throughout the video, it's pretty obvious that I don't think that no art is better than bad art. I think my conclusion is more that there's like a distinction between, like, not all video games are art, but some video games are art, some video games aren't art. Some video games are bad art, and some are good art, and some aren't either. That was kind of the thought process on that. I think maybe it didn't come through clear enough in the script, which is why some people have said that. But I thought it'd be interesting to say that anyway, just because, it wasn't that I was like, hey, look at this cool idea about art. I was more like, oh, I think about this sometimes while I'm covering these games, and it makes me think, like, why does this stuff get made? Like, would it be better if it didn't exist at all? Who knows? Anyway, second thing. So I had a good comment from someone saying you didn't talk about arcade games in the monetization section, and I think that's one where I just have to be like, yeah, that's just like straight up a mistake on my part. I think as soon as I saw that comment, I was like, fuck, how did I not talk about that? Because the annoying thing is that whenever there's arcade games in previous videos I've done, so like the X-Men video, the Indiana Jones video, I always make sure to talk about how like the monetization has been like factored into the design and how that would have worked when you actually stood there playing the cabinet. And yeah, the fact that that completely like slipped my mind while making this video is like so annoying, because it would be a perfect illustration of the point I'm making, that like monetization has always been in the video game industry. Like, there is an element of games where they have been designed to like squeeze money out of people. I think that would have, probably illustrated the point. Well, no, it probably the reason I probably didn't think of it is because that wasn't quite the point I was making in that section. The point I was making was that like monetization is like getting out of control, and I sort of, instead I was using like the kind of 7th generation as the like kind of example of when things were a bit more balanced, like when I was talking about like downloadable content and like early microtransactions, and there being more of a balance. So that was kind of balancing the live service stuff. So maybe it would have been too much in the like monetization has been fine way. I don't know. The point is, I think probably I should have found a way to include it in there. And when I saw that comment, I was like, oh god, I fucked up. So yeah, my apologies to anyone who thought, why is he not spoken about arcade games? Because yeah, that probably definitely should have been in there. What else we got? Yeah, also I had a couple of comments from people as well saying that like, wow, you really hate the angry video game nerd. And I was like, shit, I really hope it doesn't come across like that. Like, I actually, in reality, I really like the angry video game nerd. I just think that sometimes you can, you look at like the influence that like his comedy has had on the reputation of certain games, or how people felt you should review games for a while. And I don't think that was necessarily like a good thing, but not like intentional. Like I don't think he's like I'm not one of these guys who's like a angry video game nerd like hater. I actually like him. I think his videos are quite funny. I mean, admittedly, his like older ones. But yeah, I think I was maybe just like a bit like yeah, this is the thing. Every time you mention him, it's for the purpose of criticizing his videos. Yeah, I think I maybe need to be more careful with that in the future, because I've done it in the Castlevania video now, and I've done it in this one where I'm sort of like talking about how his like perception, his like the perception he's created of a game is like not really fair. But the problem is that like I stand by those. Like I think his review of Castlevania 64 like is not very good. Like he there is a section in it where he's like, oh, like how do you get past this section? What are you meant to do? And all you have to do is just press a button on the controller. And to get to that point in the game, you'd have had to have pressed that button already. So there's no way he can not know. So it's kind of like making up a problem that isn't there for the sake of comedy, which is not like strictly a problem, but the thing is that like for a long time the videos weren't viewed as just like completely like as completely like comedic. They were kind of like rage reviews, like, which is why they spawned a bunch of like copycat rage review clones. They didn't spawn a wave of like comedy bit impersonators. Yeah, so it's weird. He kind of does do that, but like it doesn't mean that I don't like his videos, because I do like him, and I remember when they were coming out on like game trailers, and it was super fun to see like non-professional people covering video games. It's opened the doors to a lot of that. So it's like, yeah, of course I definitely don't hate him. I just think some of these reviews are a bit not like fair, if you know what I mean. Like I think the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde one, which is when I talk about it in that video, like it's tricky because it's like he's you know, it's obviously for comedy, but the problem is that's the first time that a lot of people would have seen that game, so they take a lot of the criticisms as true. But yeah, it's tricky. But I thought I'd put this out there anyway. I definitely don't hate the Angry Video Game Nerd. Like I find his early videos like funny, like those Ghostbusters and the Top Gun video, and the he's got one about Dragon Lair. Like basically almost every single video that I like covered in the early bits of the video, like he's probably got like a video on. It's less about him and more about the way culture has used his videos to justify unjust criticism of games people never played. Yes, I think so. Yeah, I think it's probably people's reaction to him. That's probably more the issue rather than him. But yeah, I thought I'd get that out there as well, because yeah, I don't want it to come across like that. I think I'm probably just going to avoid talking about him in the next ones. Yes, so the next point that came up in the comments quite a lot was quite a few people said that bad art needs to exist in order for good art to exist. And I thought that was a really interesting idea that I didn't talk about in the video. This idea that you need bad art to either learn to improve to be able to make good art yourself, or to provide like a kind of mirror so that you understand what good art is because you know what bad art is. I thought that was kind of an interesting idea that I didn't explore at all in the video. And I don't know how I feel about it, because I'm not entirely sure. I thought that was what you said in the end. I don't think so. I don't think so. In the end, it's mainly just about, you know, that you have to like come up with your own conclusions about these things and not take reviewers as rote. You need to just accept that bad stuff's there, but it's not all bad. Like there's good games coming out, you know. I don't think I necessarily zone in on the like bad art is like a necessary step towards good art. I'm not sure how much I agree with that, because like if you boil it down to its most simple term, if Superman 64 was the only game in existence, would we think it was a good video game because there's nothing else nothing else exists? I'm not strictly sure we would. So that means there must be an objectivity to what is good and bad that doesn't fit into. I think the idea about making bad art before you make good art as well, like I think that is definitely like interesting. I'm not sure that's like strictly what is being like discussed in the video, because that's like more to do with like the creative process. And I think video games are quite unique in that the creative process is like, it's kind of like infused with some degree of like corporate profit seeking at like quite a lot of levels. So it's sort of like, yes, you have the creatives that want to make stuff, but you also have like the people financing it, like the money men. So it becomes tricky to be like, oh no, like you need to, like every single piece of art you create has to be this learning process, because I just don't think the industry like works like that necessarily. Oh no, thank you very much. Awesome video once again. Hope all is well, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And yeah, I really thank you for the super chat, and yeah, I hope you're enjoying the stream and the video. Yeah, the difference is most people's bad art isn't distributed or backed by a publisher. Exactly. And I'm not even sure I strictly think that bad art is a necessary step towards making good art. Like if we look at like Claire Obscure, that's a great example of a studio that's just hit a home run like straight out the gate. Like, you know, you don't necessarily have to make mistakes to get things right, even though that can be like a helpful learning experience. It's not like necessary. So it's a bit, yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. It's an interesting concept, and when I was first reading about it, I was like, oh, this is really interesting, a really interesting counterpoint to the quote. But the more I think about it, the more I think it's just very confusing. I think the problem is that we're using an Oscar Wilde quote, and the guy was basically just like flippantly saying things, you know, and I think it wasn't necessarily meant to be like sort of psychoanalyzed to this degree. So yeah, it's kind of funny that it can lead you getting like tied up in knots. Dylan, hello, how are you doing? So, and then the last thing I wanted to address that's come up in the comments is Concord. I've had quite a surprising amount of comments, more than I thought, sort of saying like, why didn't you talk about like the sort of culture war element with Concord? And the honest truth is that I didn't, because I think I genuinely did decide when I was doing this video to like do a bit of more research into Concord, like watch the cutscenes, read some of the developer interviews, and like the more I read about it, the more I was like, I don't think that actually was that big of a like the defining reason why Concord failed. I just couldn't shake the idea that it looked like it failed basically just because it was like a first person version of Babylon's Fall, essentially, like as in just very, very bland, very, very generic, very, very uninteresting, like not doing anything original, not doing anything that is like a hook that could draw people in, like a terrible financial model where you have to pay a large amount of money for access, but then you get like barely any content, and you just have the promise of future content. Like that is a monetization model that I do not think works in modern gaming. Like now that free to play has like become like the de facto like multiplayer thing, like if your game is not launching free to play, you better have shitloads of content in your game, and Concord had hardly any. And I just think it's like do I think there was culture war elements at play within Concord? I think, to be honest, yes. I think that I don't think that's not a factor that was at play. Like they definitely designed a weird, super safe, super uninteresting game that could be like, that could have as like mass appeal in a safest way as physically possible. I definitely think that's true, but I don't necessarily think that is what killed it, if that makes sense. I think what killed it is like the actual design of the game, and the financial model of it probably had a way bigger impact. Like I do wonder if it was free to play, would it have failed in the same way? I guess it's interesting to know, because it is odd, because most games like this, they do go free to play if they're not successful, and it's odd in that Concord is one of the few that didn't. They just literally wiped it off the face of the earth. So it's a weird game, but yeah, I thought I'd clarify that a bit more, in that like I think yeah, I'm not certain that is like the main reason that game failed. Like the game wasn't bad inherently. So it did interest me. I did watch some previews of the game. Obviously, it's hard to make a judgment without being able to actually play yourself. But it didn't seem like anyone was sort of like massively complaining about the gameplay either. I just think it was just like the whole thing was just completely like misconceived from like a conceptual perspective rather than it being like a functional problem. But then even in terms of the gameplay, like just a hero shooter is like not enough to get any sales. Like it's like releasing a MOBA now, like or an RTS. Like imagine if you released an RTS that was just like a kind of just like a really safe Marvel like bland sci-fi aesthetic, and it had like 3 factions that had like different units, but like it didn't really do anything different to StarCraft, like, and it didn't have like a unique hook. There was no story, there was no campaign, there was like characters in it that were your commander, but like they don't really have any like backstory or anything, and then you also have to pay $60 for it, and the content comes later. Like that is obviously going to fail, like whether or not like the characters are well designed or badly designed. I think, yeah. So it's interesting because I think I was maybe in my like critic analytic head while looking at this game, and I kind of didn't think, oh, some people are going to come into the comments and they're going to be very much of the opinion that it's culture war stuff that killed Concord, and they're going to be very like pissed that like that I am not saying that. But yeah, I think the reality is that I just after actually looking into it, I just don't think that is the case. I just don't really think that's the story of why it failed. Like, for example, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, Babylon's Fall also had incredibly ugly characters. It had like the sort of type A, type B thing that sends like Twitter into like a seething rage. And that also massively failed. And yet, when you see people talking about Babylon's Fall, the consensus is that Babylon's Fall failed because it was extremely bland and badly put together, which is why nobody played that game. Whereas you don't see the same like visceral, like political element with Babylon's Fall. And I don't really understand why. Like, why would that be the case for Concord and not Babylon's Fall when they are ostensibly exactly the same in that way? It's very weird. I don't know. I guess I just didn't expect like that to be a thing that was in my comment section. But I have tried to engage with people on that. Like, you can see in the comments that like I have tried to engage with people who like are coming at it from that perspective, like trying to talk to them about why I think that way about it. Maybe that's fruitful, maybe it's not. Who knows? That's the way I approach it anyway. So let's talk about what didn't make it into the video. Like, we've already done that a little bit when talking about the arcade section, but there's actually a lot of stuff that was cut to go before I finished the video. So the biggest one is that you might be surprised to hear that originally I had quite a large section in the video talking about like franchises like struggling and franchises like going bad and then like becoming better, like a kind of injured franchise. And the sort of centerpiece of it was Mortal Kombat, talking about how Mortal Kombat really started struggling as a series in the late 90s, when they transitioned away from like 2D and into 3D. And the difficulties they had with their side projects, the difficulties they had with like trying to get Mortal Kombat to be more than just fighting. And I eventually ended up cutting it because it was just like a bit like kind of like wishy-washy. Like, it wasn't really bringing like much to the actual video, even though it was like very interesting. And like, obviously Mortal Kombat Special Forces is like a really weird, bad game. But yeah, I just ended up cutting it because it just didn't feel like it didn't feel like it was super, like it was adding much. Like, I'm not sure anyone has watched the video and it's like, damn, there should have been a bit about Mortal Kombat. And it's a shame because the developers of Mortal Kombat are very, very like loose-lipped. Like, they give tons and tons of interviews, so there was all sorts of like really interesting stuff to talk about. But yeah, I just didn't really feel like it fit like the video, especially when I kind of zeroed in more on the kind of like Seven Deadly Sins kind of framing. Like, I'm not sure this really like fits into that. The next thing, Alexis, which is why I haven't responded to you yet, you cheeky bugger, because we were going to come to it in the presentation, you little scamp, is that shovelware. Yes, I didn't speak about shovelware. And the reality is that the truth is, I didn't talk about shovelware because I just couldn't find an interesting way to talk about it. I couldn't find an interesting way to talk about shovelware that was any different to the kind of like shovelware that was on the PS1 or the NES. Like, it's just crap being spewed out that is like badly designed essentially to trick people into buying stuff. And after speaking about that happening on the Atari, on the NES, on the PS1, like sort of hinting at it with like motion controls as well, I was like, man, this is just like, the whole video is just becoming talking about like these floods of just like nonsense. And it was just like, yeah, I just decided to just not talk about it. Like, could it be in there? Yes, it probably could be its own section, but I just decided I'll just cut it. Like, what am I going to say? It's just going to be a list of just like really, really shit games that nobody plays, that people buy as a joke, or people buy because they've been tricked into buying it, and they suck and they're non-functional, and that's it. Like, it's difficult to find anything like super interesting to say about them. Like, they can be funny, but like it doesn't really tie into the wider like framing of the video. So yeah, so I ended up not pursuing that. Don't know why. Maybe I could have. Maybe if I'm doing it again, maybe that would be good to do it. Also saw Magic Mush in the comments. Congrats on the video, dude. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate that a lot. I hope you're doing well as well. So also there was certain big famous games that I didn't put in the video. So like, I think probably some of the biggest ones, like I didn't talk about Shaq Fu, I didn't talk about Drake of the 99 Dragons, I didn't talk about like Plumbers Don't Wear Ties, or like Atari Pac-Man, or like Custer's Revenge, like, you know. So I think the more I got into the video, the more I was like, oh, I don't want to just like I don't want this to just be like 1,000 reviews like stitched together. I think that would be really boring. I want it to be more like kind of the history of the industry, more kind of like holistic than that. And so it meant that there would have to be like some games that didn't get covered if they don't fit into the sections I'm talking about. Yeah, so I don't think it hurts the video, to be totally honest. Like, it wasn't designed to just be like a massive list of the worst games ever, or like a review of every single bad game ever made. So I don't think it hurts the video, but yeah, I guess some of them are a bit conspicuous by their absence. Yeah. And then the last one, kind of the same as shovelware. I didn't talk about AI and AI's influence on gaming, just because I think it's probably like, it's fairly obvious that AI's influence on video gaming is going to be like negative. I think, like, I don't think that's going to be something that results in lots of good games being made. It's just going to result in like enormous amounts of slop being shoveled out. But I'm not sure that that is necessarily like all happening yet. Like, it's something that is like imminently about to happen or is happening. So again, it's like not super interesting to talk to, like the shovelware. And it wasn't, I really didn't want the video to be like just hyper negative, like here's all of the awful things that are happening in the internet. That wasn't really in the industry. That wasn't really meant to be like the point of the video. So I just decided I'm just not going to talk about AI because, yeah, it's just like, it's just boring. What about bad AI in old games like Colonial Marines? Yeah, I mean, could be. That could be a whole one in itself. Do you think there will ever be a good AI game, like maybe years or decades in the future? I mean, I have no idea. Like, who knows if it'll get to that point? I mean, I guess given the rate of technological advancement, I would presume in 100 years' time there will be like an incredible AI game. But I don't know. Oh, I think I will be long gone by then. I will certainly be not paying attention. So yeah, so they're the main things I think that I didn't talk about in the video. I think that's okay though. Like, I don't think it's like a. What about bad ports? I mean, I did touch on bad ports at certain points. Again, like, bad ports is like kind of like a bit like a. It's not like a. It's not a super interesting subject because like there are certain games where the ports are really bad, but they tend to be like pretty like lame demakes from PC to consoles. It tends to be the main way, and it's just like I wouldn't necessarily say that they're like bad per se, because there was always an appreciation that if you were buying a PS2 version or a PS1 version of a PC game, you were getting a much worse experience. Like, you were essentially signing up for that. So I'm not even necessarily sure that they are, broadly speaking, bad. So yeah, it's weird. So that would have to be like a sort of licensed game section. But then again, like, I don't know. Would it be interesting to talk about? Who knows? Basically, the subject is massive. Like, there's an enormous amount of like of stuff that could go into the video. Like, you could put so much. I think the video could probably be like 4 hours longer if you wanted to talk about everything possible that relates to bad video games. But I don't think people actually want that. Like, I think people wanted something that was more concise, that was like trying to make like points about the industry, and that's what I wanted to write in the end. So that's what ended up coming out. The original aim was to write something much longer and much more sprawling, but I think as I got further into it, I was like, it's just not fun. It's just like so negative. It's just like talking about loads and loads and loads of bad games, just endlessly explaining why bit games are bad. It's just like not super interesting. So what's next? So, yes, obviously, what comes next is the Patreon Curio. So, if you guys didn't know, like, after each big video, I'd drop, like, a small Patreon exclusive video covering something adjacent to the video. So, after Dishonored, did a small review of Arx Fatalis, like, looking at that. After X-Men, we did one about, like, licensed games that, well, it was called the licensed games that should not be. And yeah, so what comes next is the Patreon Curio. But it's going to be with a twist this time, because I haven't decided what to do it on. And it's going to go to a poll for all members of the Patreon. So not just paid members, but free members as well. So if you don't subscribe to the Patreon, you can still vote. Anyway, so, whoa, I've gone too quick. So, yeah, so the point is that I'm going to put a poll up in about half an hour on the Patreon with 4 games in it. And anybody who signed up there, remember, free as well as paid, can vote on what they want the video to be on. And then that will be coming out in the next couple of weeks. Like, it's like a much smaller video. If you've seen the ones before, they're about half an hour or so, half an hour, 35 minutes, 40 minutes, that sort of thing. So yeah, so the 4 candidates are, now the reason I picked these 4 games was because I think another area of the video that was like lacking was, I think there wasn't, we kind of zoomed through the 7th generation, and I think I have like a personal affinity for the bad games of the 7th generation. Like, they have like such a self-seriousness that I think is like really funny and endearing about bad games. And they're so janky because like the switch to HD, so many studios like struggled with it. And I think there are some really interesting games that we could cover. So here are the candidates. The first is Haze by Free Radical, who were the team behind Time Splitters. Now, it is just, this story is just terrible. It was apparently influenced by Apocalypse Now, if you can believe that. And it's like a sort of anti-war story where all you do is kill people. And it's just ridiculous. And it's got this really weird, like, everyone used to call it like the piss game, because everything in it is just like yellow for some reason. It's like sepia tinged, but to like an extreme degree. And if you can believe it, it was actually supposed to. It was. I don't think the team ever described it as a Halo killer, but it definitely was in the media described as a Halo killer. Like it was going to be Sony's Halo killer. And all it ended up killing was the studio that released it, because they went out of business basically as soon as it came out, and it ended up getting bought by Crytek. So yeah, I think that could be a very interesting game to cover. So that's candidate number 1. Candidate number 2 is Vampire Reign, which, if you can believe it, the team that made Blinks the Time Sweeper for the Xbox original, when the Xbox 360 came out, they decided to put together a military survival horror stealth game, which is not good, not a combination of genres that works. Military gunplay mixed with survival horror mixed with stealth. The game is outrageously challenging because it's just completely broken, but it's uniquely hilarious because it's like this sort of, it's a bit like the story of the Underworld movies. It's like a little bit like that, in that like it's like vampires like trying to take over like America, but they're like kind of zombie vampires. Like it's really weird, but it's very funny. I think that could make for a good video as well. So that's candidate number 2. Candidate number 3 is Rogue Warrior, which is a extremely janky first-person shooter with stealth elements, where you play as Mickey Rourke, and he basically won't stop swearing and saying like the grossest, stupidest things you've ever heard in your entire life. It's an extremely interesting, funny game with a weird development history, because it was actually being developed by a completely different studio who essentially had the project cancelled, and then Bethesda, who were the publisher, decided to, for some reason, bring back the game. And Rebellion were the studio that developed it, who are actually like quite a talented studio who have made a lot of good games, but for some reason what they shat out was this game, which is really not good. And it's like based on a book, even though it's not actually based on a book in any way. It's very interesting. So that's candidate number 3. And candidate number 4 is Ride to Hell Retribution, a notoriously bad biker revenge story, which, if you can believe it, actually the studio who produced this game, Eutechnics, they actually featured in the bad video games video, because they made the Pimp My Ride game for the PS2, if you can possibly believe that. Yeah, it could be a very interesting candidate, because it's a very, very, very weird game. Like, and I think if we did a serious critique of it, it would be even weirder, because the storyline is like, it's like nonsense. It's like completely nonsensical. Like, the scenes don't like properly lead into one another, and the gameplay is just like, is so like it's like it's functional, but it's like why have they made it in the way they've made it? So like, it's like the sections of gameplay are all really like, they're like linked up by these like driving sections where you just avoid obstacles. So if you think about it, like, what is the design of this like world like that we're going through, where all these small towns are connected by these like winding roads that are constantly having roadworks done on them? It's very strange, but I think it could be a very interesting game to do like a serious critique on. So those are the 4 options essentially. So, yes. So, can we just choose all 4 of them? No, we can't choose all 4 of them, because I've got to get on to the next actual proper video that's going to be published on the YouTube channel, whereas this one's going to be Patreon only. But yeah, so the poll should be going up in about half an hour or so. And importantly, if you want to vote, you can join the Patreon as a free member and vote. You don't actually have to be a paid member to vote, but you will have to be a paid member to see the video because it is a Patreon video. But so I was a bit like, oh, that's a bit of a shame, but like that is the commitment to the Patreon. That is the reward to like people who are supporting the channel on Patreon. Like they're the people that keep the channel going. So what I've done is I set up like a 50% discount code. So if when you sign up to the Patreon, you use the bad games code, like you just type bad games in as your discount code, it gives you 50% off, which means the Patreon is only, I think, $3.50. So I think personally that's like pretty good. That like by Patreon standards, that's pretty cheap. So you'll be getting like 2 videos already. You'll be getting this third one as well. You can cancel the Patreon after that if you don't want it anymore. Like it doesn't charge you anymore or anything like that. So hopefully that comes across as fair. Like I personally think that's fair. Like it's always a bit of an awkward thing to talk about, but the reality is like this is what enables like the channel to keep going. So there has to be like some element of this like in play, like happening alongside like the YouTube videos. Especially with people wanting like, you know, massive series videos that take like months and months to produce. Reality is like Patreon has to play a role. It's not really possible to do it without. So yeah. So hopefully this is like an interesting way. Like for $3.50, or is it $4? It might be $4. I can't remember because the way Patreon advertises it to me is like weird because they take their cut of it. But anyway, whatever it is, you get 3 videos. You get your you get to vote on which game will get covered in the next Curio, and you get to watch it. So anyway, what we'll be doing next on the actual channel then, launching on YouTube, free to watch, free to see, blah blah blah, regular YouTube upload. Well, we already spoke about it 3 weeks ago. I'm going to remind you. We're going to be talking about Arcane's Prey because I really want to talk about a good game. I really want to talk about a good video game after spending the last 2 months talking about terrible video games and the worst elements of the industry. I want to talk about a game that I personally love, that I think people... It's almost weird because it's not underappreciated because people know it's underappreciated, but I think that people know why it's underappreciated? Do people really like get like what makes this game so special? Like all of the like interesting little design ideas that have gone into this game. I think people will want to see that, and I think it will make for an interesting video to make as well as watch. And yeah, I think I've earned the right to do a video on a game that just I wanna enjoy myself with. Are you going to cover the original as well? Well, I'm going to speak about it in the sense that it relates to this game, but I almost think that like you're doing both games a disservice when you connect them like too much, because we'll obviously talk about that as it was as it like impacted the development and the marketing for it. But I don't want to kind of slam it too much. I don't want to do like Prey versus Prey sort of thing, because I think that, I mean, that's not what either of the developers wanted. So yeah, we'll stick largely to Arcane's Prey. Will I be covering the DLC? Yes, I will be covering the DLC as well. It will be essentially what it will be is Prey. It will be Prey Typhon Hunter, and it will be Prey Moon Crash in one video. And to be honest, I would imagine the Moon Crash element will actually be quite long, because I think while I think people understand that Prey, the video game made by Arcane, is underrated, is very, very good, I don't think people really realize how good Moon Crash is. I think Prey Moon Crash is one of the best DLC that has ever been made. And I think it's like the gold standard for reinventing the gameplay of your game in a way that's interesting, that actually has depth, that is a worthwhile experience in its own right, away from the core game experience. So I'll be honest, I think I'm probably as excited as I am to do Prey. I think talking about Moon Crash, that is going to be like the funnest bit of this whole video, because yeah, I think it's going to be really fun to kind of say to people like, this is fucking wicked. You got to check it out. Yeah, Future Echo as well. I mentioned the Mortal Shell video. Yes, it's similar to the Mortal Shell DLC. I think they were probably quite influenced by Prey in the direction they went. But I love that kind of game, and I love Prey's take on it. I think that's going to be really good. The aim for this video is to have it out. Well, I think I'll be starting work on it tomorrow. I mean, I've already started work on it, and I've already captured about like 40 hours of footage for it, and I've already got about, I mean, I don't even know, like maybe 11 or 12 pages of notes from various playthroughs. And so I think work will probably go quite quickly on this one. I'm starting like the research side of things tomorrow. But then obviously I've got to do the Patreon video as well. So that will depend on which game gets picked, I guess, because like if Ride to Hell or Rogue Warrior gets picked, they're quite short, like and not very difficult. Whereas Haze, I think, is a bit longer. I think Haze is like 15 hours long or so. And Vampire Rain would probably be the one that took the longest, because it's like really, really, really hard, because it's like so badly designed. So I think depending on which Patreon video gets picked, that could maybe push Prey back a little bit, but hopefully not too long. Yeah, so the aim is to basically get it out. I think it's, what's the date today? The 27th. So I think maybe like the first week of oh, Haze is, no, actually Memento Mori, I think you're right. Yeah, I think I'm getting Haze confused with what's it called? The other one with the guy, it's the other game with a guy on the front who's like got like a robot. It's like called like Time Shift or something like that. It was the one where you go, it's like another shooter from the PS3 era where you go through various different like time periods, and it's like quite a much more involved campaign. But yeah, Haze isn't that long actually. Okay, that's good though. That is good though, because that means that the video won't take that long. Day of Darkness. Oh god, yeah. Anyway, that's the end of the presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. Did you enjoy it? Let me know. What's the thing they say in the Nintendo Directs? I can't remember. But yeah. What do you guys think of the plan? I think it seems like a good plan, to be honest. I'm really looking forward to the next few months, I guess, of the channel. I think my theory is that once I do Prey, once I do this Patreon video, I might try and tackle like a bigger project. I might do one of my series videos again. I think it's either going to be Silent Hill or Legacy of Kain. It depends really. I got to see where it would fit on YouTube between them. But yeah, I think this will be fun. I think after doing a video about just bad games, which has done like fairly well, it's like getting quite good views, I think I've like earned the right to do like a single game piece about a game I really love. So that's going to be Prey. I think that'll be really fun to make. And then yeah, get the Patreon one done, and then move on to something cool after that for like the summer. So yeah. Glover. I'm not going to do Glover. Hearing your thoughts on the post Silent Hill 3 games would be really interesting. Yeah, I think that would be cool. I'm looking forward to doing that, because I think the first 4 Silent Hill games, there's a lot of content out there about them, but there's not so much out there about like Homecoming and Shattered Memories and Origins and stuff. I think it would be interesting to do. But yeah, I think it's a fun plan. I think we got good stuff up ahead. We just got to get there. Have you played the Like a Dragon titles? No, I spoke about this on the last stream actually. I haven't played any of the Yakuza games. Not because I don't want to be honest. They look really up my street. Like I really like Shenmue, and so I think I would really like the Yakuza series, and I really like JRPG, so I'd probably like the more recent ones as well. I just have never got around to playing them, to be totally honest with you. They're quite meaty games, and there's a lot of them. Like, I think I would really need to dedicate myself to like working through them. So yeah. You getting into Yakuza would make Madge very happy. Would it? I don't think me and him have ever spoken about Yakuza. Is he a big Yakuza fan? I didn't know that. Yeah, I would quite like to at some point. But yeah, it's just about when. I was thinking they're releasing Yakuza 0 on the Switch too, so that might be a fun way to play it, like eventually, like portably, because I don't have a Steam Deck. And I don't think it's available on Switch 1, is it? So maybe when I eventually get a Switch 2, that would be an interesting way to enjoy it. Because it's like Persona, isn't it? There's lots of different things to do. So I think that would be quite nice to sort of sit and chill with. Shenmue retrospective. I think a Shenmue retrospective would be pretty fun to make. I really love Shenmue. And I think Shenmue has like a really nice chill vibe to it as well. Which I think is unappreciated. I think sometimes when people talk about Shenmue now, like they focus on its like sort of janky systems and its like weird story and its weird acting, and they miss the sort of like atmospheric quality that Shenmue has, which is still really good. Like I think if I was doing a video about Shenmue, I would lean more into that. Whew. Let's see if we've had any more crazy stuff. Nice. I should probably just set the Patreon. I should set the poll live now, shouldn't I? How do you do that? Cool. Right, it's done. That is out there. So let me get the shareable link. There you go. That link that I just posted in the chat, that should take you to the poll. So you should be able to go and vote on which game you would like the Patreon Curio to cover. Let's get that away from there. There we go. Any chance you can maybe do a Banjo-Kazooie series retrospective one day? Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's quite an interesting game series, but like, it's not like a. No, I don't want to say there's not loads to it, but like, it's kind of a bit weird because it's like two quite good games, and then like a quite good Game Boy Advance game, and then not really anything, and then Nuts and Bolts, which is like kind of weird because Nuts and Bolts is like good but not a good Banjo-Kazooie game, if that makes sense. So I think sometimes with the franchise videos, you want there to be like a nice like light and shade. I think they make for the best ones. So like if Parasite Eve is like the perfect series retrospective, that's got like, it starts with a book and a movie and then a PS1 game and then a sequel which is like weird and different, and then a PSP game which is like completely shit compared to the PS1 game, which is amazing. So I think that's like the perfect like blend of like variety and strangeness. I think the best videos have that in them. Like Indiana Jones is like lots of weird stuff going on. Like Castlevania is like Castlevania's got like loads of really good games in it, but it's also got lots of like really weird stuff happening, like weird 3D games, Lords of Shadow sub-series. It's got like PS2 games. It's got like cancelled Dreamcast games and stuff. Like, I think I always look for like series that have like this kind of like Yeah, like light and shade. Highs and lows is the best way to put it. Yes, N Veritas said that. Highs and lows is good. They make for the best videos. So I think that's really what I am looking for when I'm picking a series to cover. Either that, or it has a really unique story to it. So like Dishonored, I think doesn't necessarily have that like light and shade, but like the actual story of like the creation of the games, what went into the games, how they ended up. I think that is like really interesting in of itself. That carries the videos essentially. Are there any other movie series, video games like Lord of the Rings and Indiana Jones you have an interest to make a video on? It came to me randomly, but doing an Alien retrospective could be neat. Well, my friend, it's funny you said that because we were literally talking about an Alien video earlier on. And I was saying I would very much like to do that. I think that would be the perfect example of one that has like that interesting light and shade and like good little like sub stories in it. Like, you know, it's got like the story of like Alien Isolation, like getting like savagely bad reviews from like IGN and like Ensemble Studios like shutting down, but it becoming like this cult classic, like first person survival horror. I think it's got good stories like that in it, like Alien versus Predator, like being like stuck on the Atari Jaguar, or like Alien Colonial Marines, like being this game that was just locked away for ages. I think that would be a series that I would really like to do. And to be honest, I have been thinking about that a lot recently. Like, I don't know whether I might bump that up the list, because I sometimes feel like with these videos you have to have like a certain like sort of burning passion in them to really like commit to spending like months and months talking about them. And I can maybe feel that like coming with an Alien versus Predator video game retrospective. Isn't Alien Isolation heralded as one of the best horror games ever? I mean, it is now, but at the time, IGN gave it like a 5 out of 10 and like really, really hurt its reputation because they were still like the #1 review outlet at the time, and they absolutely fucking dunked on it, and it was really damaging. It's a real shame. Jeremy, hey, how's it going, man? How are you? Phantasy Star? Yeah, Phantasy Star could be a good one. I think if I was doing Phantasy Star, I would probably stop at Phantasy Star Online, and I would probably not include the games that came later, just because this is maybe very controversial, but I think Phantasy Star kind of loses its soul a little bit after Phantasy Star Online. Like, Phantasy Star 3 with the cards and stuff is like Phantasy Star Online 3, kind of okay, kind of interesting, but like broadly speaking not super interesting. But yeah, I think that would be interesting. Are we still up? We still going? Yeah, I think we are. I had a weird moment where the stream like wigged out for a second there. But yeah, I think that would be good. Someone said about Breath of Fire. Yeah, I think Breath of Fire would be an interesting series to cover, but I think the trouble with these RPG series, everyone always asks me about Final Fantasy, and it's like, I don't know how I can physically do a Final Fantasy video, like, because the games are so long and they're so big and there's so much that goes into them. Like, I'm talking about like, oh, these videos that would take like 2 or 3 months to put together. Like, a Final Fantasy video would take like a year to put together. Like, imagine just doing the research for like one of them. Like, imagine just doing Final Fantasy like 10, right? And so before you even start, you have to talk about like the state of Square moving on to the PS2. You have to talk about like the aftermath of like Spirits Within. You have to talk about like the changing leadership at the top of the company, and then you have to go into like all this detail, and then you're getting into a game which is like massive, like absolutely monstrous game. Oh yeah, it's draining to even think about. Even though I would like to do it, and I know people would like go do lally for it, it's just like I'm not like sure it's even possible, to be honest. How do you feel about Kingdoms of Amalur or the first 2 Fable games? I mean, Fable could be an interesting game, although I think we're probably a bit too close to the release of the Xbox, the new Xbox One being made by the Forza Horizon studio to do that, which is a shame because I really like Fable. I played the first one when it came out on Xbox. I was really hyped for it when it came out. I really bought into the Peter Molyneux nonsense because I'd like grown up with like Populous and like I'd played like Black and White loads, so like I really liked Lionhead already. And when I heard they were doing like a fantasy like third person game where the world changed around you, I was like, ooh, this is going to be so good. And it's on the Xbox, which has like all this power, like it can do all this stuff. Yeah, exactly, the tree, you can plant a tree and stuff. Like, wow, I hope that's going to be amazing. And I really bought into it. And even though I did really enjoy Fable 1, it wasn't what they promised. Even though it was good, I still like Fable 1 quite a lot. It has a lot of charm. It's a really charming game. But yeah, I think that it's too close to the release of a new one to do a video on it, because it'll be out of date within like 6 months. I think like it's kind of okay, these ones like Onimusha, it takes like a year or so, or like or Indiana Jones was like up for like a year or so. I think that's okay. But like that Fable game, is that not, that's like this year, isn't it? I think I'm not sure. I think it's this year. But yeah, Kingdoms of Amalur, that could be interesting though, because Kingdoms of Amalur is a I think Kingdoms of Amalur is like kind of like good, and it's got like a really weird, interesting story behind it, where it was like funded. It was like funded by like the state of Rhode Island or something like that. Like it was this like, I can't remember. I've read it before, but I can't remember the actual story of the game's development. But it's something like it was like funded by this like businessman who was setting up this studio, and he got all these like loans and grants in to like make the actual game, and I can't remember. A baseball player funded it. That's it. Yeah. They got a tax break by being based somewhere. I'm pretty sure it was Rhode Island in America. Yeah, and they ended up having to like. They went under, and it ended up that like the state of Rhode Island ended up owning the rights to Kingdoms of Amalur. I'm pretty sure, because they basically like defaulted on loans they had given them or something like that, and the rights ended up going back to the state. It was really weird, but I think that would actually make quite a good video, to be totally honest with you, because the story behind it is just so surreal. And oddly enough, the game is actually like kind of cool. It's kind of like a really good example of like a third person Xbox 360 era like ambitious RPG. Like it's got some cool ideas and stuff, and it's very replayable as well, like way more replayable. Like the classes actually play quite differently. It's very weird, but good. Anime license game retrospective to any anime you grew up with. I mean, that's a tough one, because growing up in the UK, anime was a bit weird. Like, we didn't have access to loads of it. You used to watch like stuff that they would release on the manga imprint, like that came over here. So like Vampire Hunter D and like Akira, stuff like that. Like you could maybe get hold of some Studio Ghibli and stuff, but like especially where I lived, like way outside of London, it's quite hard to get hold of. I think I wouldn't say that I got into anime until I was a bit older, like maybe like a teenager, and we had like there was like you could use the internet to like watch anime. I think growing up it was quite hard to come across it. I remember, I think my cousin had like a was it Tank Girl? I think I can't remember the name of it. It might be Tank Girl. She had like a tape of that we used to watch. But yeah, it was hard to get hold of stuff when I was younger. It was only really when the internet came around that it was like, oh, we can just like watch we can just watch anime whenever we want. Just came by to say excellent video, and you got a new subscriber, Main D Moon. Thank you very much, and welcome to the channel. I really appreciate that. That's really nice of you. I should probably add as well for anyone coming in. Oh, nice. Oh, nice. We've had some good votes already. I'll post the link one more time. So for anyone who's just come into the stream, the link there will take you to my Patreon, where there's currently a free vote on what the next video covered on Patreon is going to be. You can vote for free, and if you want, you can use the code BADGAMES to get 50% off 1 month on the Patreon. So you'll get to see the video, but it isn't going to be releasing on YouTube. So I just want to make that totally clear. It's a Patreon curio. It's a thank you to everybody who backs the channel on Patreon and keeps the channel ticking along. So if you want to watch it, use the Bad Games code, get in on the Patreon for like a couple of dollars, and then you can watch the video when it drops. But you can vote for free, so you can still have some influence if you'd like. Have you ever thought about doing a retrospective on a famous video game director? Well, I kind of have already. The Vagrant Story video is essentially like a Yasumi Matsuno video. So I basically have sort of done that already. But I would definitely like to do another one. And I suppose also the Panzer Dragoon one is kind of like a Yukio Futatsugi retrospective too. I think like it would be interesting to do one on like Hideo Kojima's early work. I think that would be good. Like do like Snatcher, do Police Noughts. I think that would be fun. Wasn't the Castlevania video also like that? I mean, it kind of was, insofar as the games where Igarashi was like the main driving force, but he's not really like involved at the start. That's like the Akamatsu era, and then like later on, once Konami ships it off to Mercury Steam, it becomes more about like what Mercury Steam are doing. It is kind of like that. Like it's quite. I think sometimes I have a tendency in my videos to go a bit overboard on the auteur stuff, like prescribing too much stuff to the individuals. But to be honest, I have in recent videos tried to really like push back on that a bit. Like I definitely hope it was noticed in the Dishonored videos. I definitely tried to like involve talking about like the art director, talking about like level designers and like people outside of just the director roles. I think like Dishonored 2, I think I really nailed that in that video. Like there was lots of discussion of various people in it. Well, that's going to be the aim for the Prey video anyway. Prince of Persia did it a bit. Yeah, I think Prince of Persia's that video is a bit weird. I was still quite light on the development stuff then. I think I maybe hadn't discovered how I liked to write these videos by that point. It was a bit more like critique-y. Like there was a bit like spoke about Jordan Mechner a fair bit and like the team that made Sands of Time and stuff, but I didn't really go too deep on the later ones. I sometimes think that would be an interesting video to remake. You know, like wait until the Sands of Time remake is out. And then do like a Prince of Persia remake video and talk about Lost Crown, talk about Rogue Prince of Persia, talk about Sands of Time remake, like do a recut that's like more like the modern videos, like with more developer stuff in there. I think that would be interesting. Probably wouldn't take that long to do either, because Prince of Persia game is quite short. Do we have a winner so far? It looks like Hayes is in the lead. But it's quite even, to be honest. Across 53 votes, like it's quite even. Hayes 30%, Vampire Rain 21%, Rogue Warrior 25%, Ride to Hell 25%. Interesting. I forgot Hayes even existed. Yeah, well, it might be getting the retrospective treatment. Haven't heard of any of the games before? Well, they'll make good fodder for a video, my friend. I love how you design your videos. It's always fun to have them running in the background. Keep it up. Thank you very much, Laurie. I really appreciate that. Thank you. You ever think about doing an Elder Scrolls retrospective? People have talked about Skyrim and Oblivion to death, but Daggerfall, Arena, Morrowind aren't nearly as talked about. I think an Elder Scrolls video could be good. The only problem is I think it suffers from a lot of the issues that like a Final Fantasy video would, in that like the games are so big that doing something like that's like substantial and like is covering them in any kind of depth, like the video is just going to be like massive, and I don't know if you can actually do that. Like if you're just doing Morrowind and it's like and it's expansions, like that's got to be at least like a couple of hours, you know? There's so much there to talk about. And then if you add in Skyrim and it's DLC, Oblivion and the Shivering Isles, if you're going to do Redguard, if you're going to do, I mean, like Daggerfall is like huge, like there's so much to it, and it's like it quickly becomes like quite a big video. So again, it's like, how would you balance like releasing like a mega video that covers everything in the series and have it actually be something that people might want to watch? I do think it could be interesting though. I wonder if like, because Elder Scrolls is one of those series that has like a lot of pull on YouTube. Like people watch a lot of Elder Scrolls stuff. So I do wonder if maybe that would like pull people into watching it, even though it was like like 12 hours long. I mean, that one guy made a 12-hour video on just Star Wars: The Phantom Menace. Yeah, I've been told that video is quite good, but I do think as time is going on, I think I'm starting to get a bit more choosy with like my video lengths. I think my videos are coming down in length a little bit, just because I think that if you want my honest opinion on it, is that I think long YouTube is like a bit like saturated at this point. Like it used to be that if you released a video that was long, you would get people clicking on it curious as to like, why does a video this long exist? What could they possibly be talking about that's this interesting? And so you could get quite a lot of interesting, like curious views that way. But I don't think that necessarily like exists anymore, because it's so common to see like really, really long videos. So I think we've almost come like full circle back around to like videos have to like justify their like length now. So like, while I feel fine about my place in that, because like, you know, if you're covering like a series, like it's going to be a long video, it justifies itself that way. But like, I do think sometimes when we see stuff that's like, you know, really, 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 really long videos that are covering just like one subject, I sometimes think that is maybe not warranted, if you know what I mean. Like, especially if like the experience is like shorter than the video. I mean, that can be interesting. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, that can be interesting in that can be an exercise in itself of like exploring tangents, you know, and that can be quite interesting in of itself. But I do think it can be sometimes a trap people fall into, where they just make the videos really, really long, because it used to mean that a video was like premium, whereas now it doesn't necessarily mean that. Like, if anything, it's gone the other way, where it's like kind of expected now, where like, imagine if you saw a video on a really interesting topic, but it was only like 10 minutes, you would be like, well, how in depth could this possibly be? We've almost created an atmosphere now where you, unless the video is really long, like over an hour, you don't think it's like legit. So it's very tricky. I just want to say this is my first time watching this kind of live stream from you. Feels great. I hope you're having fun too. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that, my friend. Yeah, I'm having a great time. It's fun. Like I don't do like a whole bunch of live streams. Kind of my plan is broadly with live streams to do like one per video. So kind of like show my face, have a chat with everyone. People can like remember that I'm like a human being behind the mic and like coming up with the scripts. I think that's kind of fun. Yeah, I'm not going to do like tons and tons of live streams on here. I don't want people to think that this is like a live streaming channel. Although, to be honest, I have thought about like rebooting my Twitch channel. It would be quite fun to like, I think it would be fun to play some games, like live streamed, like not retrospective, not with a view to making a video, just to hang out. And I think the reality is that would basically either have to be on Twitch or a different channel. I don't think it could be like here, because I don't think people I really wouldn't want to make like weekly streams like a thing. I think it like pisses people off, to be honest. Like I think people don't like to see their like subscription feed getting filled with like streams. Whereas if you've watched a video from me and then there's a stream and then there's nothing for like a month or so, I think that probably has like a better cadence with the viewer. Like, you know, people don't want to be bombarded with content, especially when streaming content is like it's kind of like a bit like low quality, you know, like compared to scripted videos. You can replay games you've already covered that you love. See, I was thinking that I would probably quite like to like kick things off like that. Like if I was going to reboot like the Twitch stream, like we could do like a playthrough of like Parasite Eve or like Prince of Persia, Sands of Time, or Eternal Darkness, something like that would be like really fun. Like do something like that just to kick it off. But I don't know about that for now. I think maybe that's like something I'll pick up maybe in like the second half of the year. I think for now it's just like I don't know if there's anyone in the stream who was here like at the start of the year when I was talking about kind of like rebooting the channel a little bit, like after my like after my sickness and like all the treatment, like I needed to like kind of put in the time to like get the channel like kicking again, if that makes sense. And I think we're like on the way. Like we've released I know like Dishonored 1 doesn't really count because that came out on the 15th of December, but I kind of include that in this like in this phase. But we've released 3 videos essentially since I got like the all clear, and like 2 of them have done like pretty well, and so I feel like we're getting back to things like things feeling like they're in a good place. And I think when things are feeling like they're in a good place again, I think maybe then we can think about like the regular streaming and stuff. I think that would be quite fun. It is something I definitely want to think would be fun to do. Like, you know, eventually if we did like a Chrono Trigger stream or something like that, or stream like Final Fantasy 7, like that would be fucking cool. Like do some RPGs and stuff. That would be fun. Can't thank you enough for the Dishonored videos. It's one of my favorite series. Wisp Mage, no worries, thank you. It's one of my favorite series too. I hope I did them justice. I sometimes feel like I was a bit like critical almost of them, but like I think I was fair to them, you know. Like I was definitely more critical to Dishonored 2 than 1, but that's only because I want it to be like the best version of itself, you know. But yeah, it was an interesting story. Hopefully Prey will be similar. You should try Ys. Yeah, I've played quite a few Ys games. Like I've played Ys book 1 and 2 and Origins, and I played some of the one on the island. What's that one called? Lacrimosa of Dana or something like that, I think it is. I played some of that one, but I didn't get super far into it. But Ys is a cool series. I quite like Ys. It's got that like positive anime energy to it, which I enjoy. If you choose one Resident Evil game that deserves a retrospective, what would it be? That would be Resident Evil 1 remake. That would be the dream Resident Evil retrospective, because then you could talk about Resident Evil 1 and the remake and how it's like the perfect remake. Either that, or you could do something similar with Resident Evil 2, because like 2 is like absolutely awesome, and the 2 remake is really cool as well. And I like both of them. What about Code Veronica, the overlooked one? I quite like Code Veronica, but it's also a bit of a weird game. Like it's not super fun, if that makes sense. Like I do like it, and I have enjoyed playing it, and I don't think I ever beat it, but I got pretty far in it. Actually, maybe I did beat it. I think I did. I can't remember. I played it a really long time ago. It's kind of a weird game. That whole period of Resident Evil history is like really odd, you know. Hi Matt, how are you doing? P.S. Would you ever do a Space Quest series retrospective? Clocko, hello, how are you? Would I ever do Space Quest? Maybe. It's not like super on my radar. I think it's maybe like a bit out of my wheelhouse, if that makes sense. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's not something I wouldn't be interested in including in a video. But yeah, not in the immediate future, but maybe. Prey is my favorite Arcane video, and Imo, you have the perfect format to cover not only the game, but also the slightly troubled development. Yes, I hope so. I think I was talking to Steph about this earlier. I think the thesis behind Prey is going to be about like fairness, about like and unfairness. It's going to be about how the video game industry is a very unfair place, and that what people deserve to happen to them is often not what happens, and that's really going to be the thread running through Prey. I think it's going to be like another one of my sort of tragedy videos. I think you're going to leave it like crying, wishing that, you know, Raphael Colantonio would have been better respected by Bethesda publishers. This Mage brought this up. What are the odds of doing a Thief retrospective? Not like low. I really like Thief, and I think Thief is a really interesting series, and I even don't mind the Thief reboot. Now I know that is like really controversial, but I don't massively mind the Thief reboot. It's nowhere near as good as the original games, or even the like Ion Storm sort of semi reboot. Like, but I still think it's kind of a fun game. Like, it's got weird ideas. It's basically like not really like a Thief game. It's like really has a separate way of like doing things. But I still think it's like kind of fun. It's got some cool ideas. It would be a cool video to make. Like, I think there's certain ones like you know, Deus Ex is another one in there where it's like that would be like cool to do. I've been thinking a lot about like Doom and Wolfenstein, and maybe or like Half-Life, maybe doing like a shooter series could be kind of fun. Like Doom could be kind of cool because it's like obviously the Dark Ages has just come out, and the Doom games are not like super long, so like that would be kind of a possibility. Like to do like Doom, what would there be? There would be Doom 1, 2, 64. There would be 3. I guess you would do like the sort of remake of 3. Then you would do the reboot, Eternal, the Dark Ages, all the expansions, Sigil 1 and 2. Yes. There would be a lot of Doom 1 content in it. Oh god, yeah. Yeah, there's the virtual reality stuff. I don't think that would be like an impossible video to make though. Like, you know how like we've been talking about Final Fantasy and like how that would be like such a like meaty series to do. I don't think Doom would be. What have we got? We've got Doom 1, Doom 2, Hell on Earth. Oh, Final Doom. Forgot about Final Doom. Oh no, Final Doom's just the expansions for Doom 2. Doom 64, Doom 3. Oh, then there's Resurrection of Evil and BFG Edition. What's the difference between those again? Oh, BFG Edition is just Resurrection of Evil and Doom 3 together. Then Doom, the reboot, Doom Eternal, and Doom the Dark Ages. And then there's the Doom RPG. Alright, okay, I guess we would just not do the mobile games. We would not do the mobile games, and we wouldn't do the VR game. So how many games would that be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's not that many. That's not that many. Doom could be interesting because of all the ports. I don't know if I would be able to cover all the ports though. That might dilute the video, you know. I watched your bad game video because I was looking for a bad, janky indie game. It's not quite what I was looking for, but it was really cool. Will you make a video about indie games one day? Adrian, thank you very much for swinging by. Yes, I have thought about this. I think a history of indie games, or history of the indie video game world, would be very interesting sort of partner video to this one. But yeah, I don't know if it's something that I'm going to jump into like straight away, because I've just done like one of these sort of like more compilation broad videos. But I think it is something that I probably would like to do at some point. I think I've spoken about this a few times before, but I think the next broad video I want to do, I really want to do a video about video games and heavy metal, like the relationship between metal and video games, and like the unique products that's created, and the unique relationships between like heavy music and like rock and metal, and like and soundtracks and licensed music and Guitar Hero, that sort of thing. I think that's like something I would really like to do, but I don't think I'll do that. I don't think I'll do that soon. I'll probably wait a bit to do that. But I think that is something that's very much on the cards for, well, probably this year, to be honest. Maybe this year. Maybe I'll do it around Christmas. That can be my Christmas treat to everyone. Brutal Legend has to be brought up then. Yeah, for sure. Brutal Legend would get its own section, for sure. I think that would be good. You're going to bust a few tunes if you do that? No, I'm not going to play my own music, for sure. Guitar Hero, is that a series you'll do a video on? No, probably not, just because I don't really think that's like... There's certain things, video game things, that I don't think you can really like capture the essence of in a YouTube video. And I think anything that involves some sort of like peripheral is very hard to properly like do it justice in a video, because so much of the experience is like a tactile thing rather than like a conceptual thing. So like you can kind of get like a vicarious experience for video game from someone explaining the video game to you, especially if there's footage for you to follow along with. Whereas with Guitar Hero, just seeing footage of Guitar Hero and someone explaining how Guitar Hero works, that just really doesn't cut it in my mind. There is good videos about Guitar Hero out there for sure, but I think my style of retrospective wouldn't work with it, basically. There's a roundabout way of saying that. What about the BioShock franchise? Yeah, BioShock could be cool. Yeah, I think BioShock would be a fun one. I don't know, has anyone done... I feel like, I haven't checked, but that seems like something that I feel like, surely someone's done that, you know? Like, how could it not have been done? BioShock. Oh shit, maybe not. Has that really not been done? No, so there's a timeline video. There's Ginji's like massive like story retrospectives. There's one with almost 1 million views that has it's just an hour runtime. It's 4 years old, so that's like predating the like long retrospective one. Bisley Channel has done one on BioShock. There's one here that came up 2 years ago. Well, damn. Yeah, I just discovered a new market. Yeah, what? That is crazy. Surely... Well, keep that under your hats, chaps and girls and guys. How is that the case? How's that not a big series retrospective on BioShock? What? How weird. Maybe I need to move quickly. Who knows when that could come out and hit the market? Flippin' heck, it's only 3 games. It's like hardly even that long. And that's got like really good light and shade in it as well. Ah, that's like a really good candidate. Yeah, see, people saying they've seen ones, but I'm searching on YouTube. I can't really see anything. Oh, here we go. Yeah, that's just. I mean, there's a lot of story retrospectives. Okay, K-Bash has one, but it's like it's 34 minutes from 5 years ago. That's not really the same thing. How weird. That's crazy. It's because YouTube search engine is shite. Yeah, but if there was a no, yes, YouTube search engine is shite, but also if it existed, it would come up, because if you're searching for a big video about BioShock, like if there was a series retrospective that had like 1.5 million views or 2 million views or something like that, and it was out there, it would come up. So that would only mean that like maybe someone's made one, but it's like it's not been seen very much, you know. The light in your eyes when you understand that you'd be the first one to do it. Well, the thing is, there is an element of that to YouTube, you know, like making sure you're in space on YouTube, like, is a thing. Like, you know, I think that's probably why like the Parasite Eve video did like as well as it did. It was like it was one of the first videos of that like type covering the entire series in one place that had been released. Like Prince of Persia definitely was. I remember when I was making that, I was like, oh, nobody's doing like series like all together, you know. Yeah, that's interesting. People mostly talk about the first game, ignore the second, and talk about how people had a 180 on Infinite. Yeah, it's funny too, because Bioshock 2 is like pretty good. I think Bioshock 2's got cool like gameplay ideas. And Infinite is a weird game, but Infinite's got, tell you what, I might not like Bioshock Infinite very much, but like Bioshock has Infinite, Bioshock 3, Bioshock Infinite has really, really cool DLC. Like really, really, really cool. Secret hope that no one releases a video on what you're working on before you release it. Oh god, yeah, it's the problem with YouTube, isn't it? I was freaking out as well, because when I dropped the bad video game video and I saw that fucking Tim Rogers released his first video for like for like 2.5 years on the same freaking day, I was like, no, I don't want to. It's like accidentally releasing your game, your wonderfully crafted RPG, the same week that Bethesda shadow drop the Oblivion remaster. I was freaking out. Luckily, I don't think it really ended up making a difference. Can't believe you said that. I hate Infinite's DLC. Oh, I like it. It's like it's got real vibe to it. You know, I like the vibe. Like it's not like story wise. It's just like this. It's just like the same as Infinite's other stuff. It's just like incoherent. But like I like the vibe. Would you ever give Marathon Retrospective a chance, especially with the new one releasing? It has so much story and lore. I feel like many people don't know about it. Yes. I think Marathon would be a cool series to cover, to be honest. Like, yeah. Basically, yes. And I've actually played... I'm one of the few people alive who's actually played Marathon 1. Yeah, it's a cool series. It's got cool lore, cool story, pretty cool gameplay. I think... there were previous marathons. Yes, amazingly, it didn't start life as an extraction shooter. Nah, that's all fine. Where was it? There was another question. What's your experience with Devil May Cry games? Maybe a future retrospective for next year would be amazing, since there's 4 great games and 1 bad game. Is that just 4 games? There's 5 Devil May Cry games, isn't there? There's 6 games in total. I'm pretty sure. There's five Japanese developed. Well, 5 ones developed by Capcom and one by Ninja Theory or whoever it is, I think. DMC, and then Devil May Cry 1 through 5. I mean, I like Devil May Cry a lot. Maybe that is probably a good one for a video at some point. I really love Devil May Cry. It's always been on my radar, so yeah, maybe at some point. You did bad games. What about movie games? Maybe just good movie games. Well, I've got some plans for an interesting video to do with video game movies, but I won't say anything more about that because I want that to be a nice surprise. But yeah, there's some cool stuff happening in that space. Just want to say you're my favorite YouTuber and you're doing such an amazing job. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much, Casso. That's really awesome to hear. Thank you for swinging by and saying that. I find it crazy that I could be anyone's favorite YouTuber. Surely not. Surely there's much more talented people out there that are raking up the favorites. I'm just a weird guy who makes weird videos. I don't know what to say. I'm obviously a bit overawed by the compliment, but thank you very much. I really appreciate that. I'll tell you what, one thing I'm not good at with streaming, my throat from doing this much talking. I've been streaming for about 1.5 hours, I think. My throat is like, my throat's like, stop talking. God, I need to get like a co-host or something so I can have a break. I'm absolutely like mainlining water just to try and like keep my throat going. I don't know how people do that. You know, when there's streamers that like stream like all day. How do they do that? Don't you record scripts for hours? No, not really. No, I said earlier, a bit earlier on in the video, in the stream, someone asked a question about that. I sort of do them in about like 30 to 40 minute chunks, like day to day, because I don't think I can. I don't think I could record for 2 hours. Like, my throat would go out. I'm sure if you rewind this back to the start of the stream, my voice probably sounds a lot more like powerful at the start than it does now. I can certainly feel it here. Talk about throat genetics. Clearly I've got some bad ones. They're not holding up. Do you have any thoughts on the Switch 2? Yeah, I think the Switch 2 looks... Yeah, Switch 2, I think it looks cool. Like, I gotta be honest, like, I know it's quite popular to kind of like bash on it. I think it looks kind of cool. Like, the thing about the Switch that I like is its like potential as like a hybrid. I like it being a machine that I can use to play games while sat on the sofa or like on holiday or something like that, or staying in a hotel or something like that. I think the Switch 2 looks like more of that, which I like. I think people's complaints about the price, of the console are maybe like a little harsh, because I don't think it's a lot more expensive than the Switch 1, but I think Nintendo are probably trying to creep back a little into competition with like Sony and Microsoft. I think with the specs of the machine, some of the third party stuff they've got going on there. Like, if you think about the version of Cyberpunk that they have on the Switch 2, like, they're definitely trying to say like, we have a really good version of this that can be like the version of it. And I think that if you think about it in terms like that, the price is not too bad for the console. The big problem is the price of the games, I think. And I think we spoke about this at the top of the stream. Like, I think the price of the games is hard to stomach. But then it's tricky too, because I think this was going to happen anyway. Like, I wouldn't necessarily say it's like Nintendo's... It is their fault, but like it's more of a thing that you blame on the entire industry. Like, if it wasn't going to be Nintendo that jacked up the price to that level, it would have been Activision Blizzard, or it would have been Take-Two when GTA comes out, or whatever. Like, I think this was going to happen regardless. Like, they're just the person who just did it first, so they're catching the most flack for it, like, deservedly so, for sure. But I don't think it's like a Nintendo problem, it's like an industry problem. And I think the reality is there's not really anything we can do about it. Like, the way that pricing works nowadays, like, it's gotten so brazen, like, since COVID. Like, any excuse like a company will use to put prices up will happen. Like, the war in Ukraine, like the COVID inflationary like backlash or whatever price it is, whatever reason there is, they'll use it to put up prices. And even if inflation comes down, even if interest rates come down, even if the global economy is healthy, those prices won't come back down with that. So I think the reality is that's just how this works now, and like it really is shit, and it prices people out, and it sucks for us. But I almost think it's like there's no point even like getting upset about it, because there's just nothing we can do about it. I'm kind of a bit like doomer about it. Like, I just don't think there's anything we can do. Like, I think within the next 10 years, like, video games will cost $100. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, it's kind of it sucks. Like, I do think that sucks, but I don't know what to do about it. People can boycott it, but it's been shown in the past that like boycotts just like don't work in the video game world. Like, the online world is not like representative of like the buying public, and like you only have to look at something like Dexit with Pokemon. Like, people that's not enough to get any kind of change to happen. Yeah, and I think if it's not going to happen then, it won't happen in the future. It's sad. Like, it sucks. Like, I'm not saying that this stuff is good. Like, it's not good. Like, and it's rubbish for people. Like, especially if you're like, you have a job that like doesn't pay very much, or like you have to save up for each game. Like, having to save like $80-$90 is like absolutely brutal. Like, you know, so I feel for people, but like, I don't think anything will change, and I think it's inevitable. Like, that it's going to happen. Kind of grim. We should talk about something like more positive. that was very depressing. For all the complaints about online, about Switch 2 pricing, they're selling out pre-orders everywhere. So that is an interesting point. Someone in the Discord, actually, I should probably link the Discord so that people can join and hang out, to be honest, because the Discord has been absolutely fire lately. There's been so much good shit in there. Oh, that's not right. How do I even do this? Invite people. Is this the right way to link it? Oh, for God's sake. How do I even get the link to this? My own freaking Discord. I don't even know. Oh, if someone is in the Discord and can link it, that would be great. But the point is that someone posted a thing in the Discord showing that the Wii U had sold out its pre-orders and the 3DS had sold out its pre-orders. So actually selling out its pre-orders might not actually be that much of a sign that the sales are going well. Like, personally, I think the Switch 2 will sell well. Like, I think it will be like a well-selling console. Probably won't sell at the levels of Switch 1, but I think it will be successful. But I think that they game the pre-orders to create these like kind of marketing headlines that things are selling out, to create this like perception that it's like really popular and that it's like the hot thing. I wouldn't be surprised if that's like constructed by Nintendo, because if the Wii U sells out its pre-orders and that is a complete bomb, like there's nothing that we can draw from that as a conclusion. Needs a Wii Sports like success. I do think it is missing that like big launch title. Like, the Wii had Wii Sports, the Switch had Breath of the Wild. Like, I don't think that I think only you can make server invites. It won't let me. I just tried. Oh, for God's sake. Right, let's have another look. Invite people. Is that right? Wait. What if I get it from here? There we go. There we go. Does that work? If that's expired. Oh, for God's sake. Now that one's expired. For God's sake. Why am I so bad at doing anything to do with technology that's not turning on a fucking console? No, that's not the link. That's an expired link. Oh dear. Right, if I copy that. Did the one I posted work? I don't think you have posted one, have you? I didn't see anything in the chat. It might be auto-blocking links, to be fair. I think it only allows links from me. I've just realised, so I don't think anyone else can even say that. Can even post it. This is embarrassing. Why do I not know how to, like, use anything? Like, right-click your Discord name. Right-click, invite people. Oh, hello. Oh, yes, Danny. Oh, I think we've been saved. Hey, Danny. You absolute legend. Thank you very much. You sorted it. Right, we've done it. The problem is I was originally doing that because because I was talking about people posting interesting information in the Discord about Switch 2 pre-orders, and we've gone way far past that now. I shouldn't even really be posting that because I'm supposed to be encouraging people to go on the Patreon poll, aren't I? To get people to vote on that. Wow, Hayes has really pulled out in the lead, hasn't it? Hayes at 38%, Vampire Rain 22%. Should you have a quick look? I'll show you guys. What's full screen again? Oh my god. There we go. If we quickly go across to here, look. Hayes 38%, Vampire Rain at 22%, Rogue Warrior at 22%, Ride to Hell Retribution is only at 18%. How crazy. I thought that one would storm it by miles, but clearly not. Also, I've just realised I can vote as well, can't I? Ooh, look, I can tip the balance between these two. Maybe, which one will I vote for? I'll vote for, I mean, Hayes could be quite interesting because Hayes is like also like a sort of pseudo time splitters retrospective. So maybe I'll vote for Hayes. I'm just following the crowd basically, but like that could be kind of interesting because yeah, I could talk about Free Radical and like the success that Time Splitters was, especially because Time Splitters 3, I really like Time Splitters 3. I think that's a really, really fun game. Like a really fun single-player shooter, especially because Time Splitters 1 and 2 were basically just like... Time Splitters 2 did have single-player stuff going on in it, but like kind of not like really... That wasn't really like the main reason to like play the game. Like you really played it for its multiplayer, whereas Time Splitters 3 had like a really funny, interesting, clever time travel plot. And that leading up to Hayes could be quite interesting. That could be a fun little story to explore. Maybe I do want that to win. Never played Time Splitters, but got the first one last week. What's your favourite colour? Is it yellow? Well, it will be yellow after this because we're playing through a completely yellow game that is soaked in piss. Never played Time Splitters, but got the first one last week. I would say actually the first one's a bit of a bad place to start. There's not a lot to Time Splitters 1. Like Time Splitters 2 is basically like even though it's a sequel, it's kind of like a remake of Time Splitters 1 at the same time. Like I wouldn't really say that Time Splitters 1. It's a bit like with the SSX series, where like there's not really any reason not to start with Tricky. Like an SSX 1 is like, in fact, I think didn't Tricky came out like literally like less than a year after it, and they just basically like it was like a definitive version of that game. First one is more like a proof of concept. Yes, exactly, it is. It's like they were getting the like controls together, like rather than and fixing up like mistakes they'd made. First one also had a level editor. Didn't the third one have a level editor, or not like a level editor, but like a game mode designer, something like that. I'm pretty sure it had something like that. All three do. I don't know if it has a level editor per se, but I think it's like a game mode developer, isn't it? I might be wrong in saying that. I can't remember. It's been a while since I played Time Splitters. But yeah, I think that just makes it all the more interesting as to why Haze was like not a good game. When will we start work on Haze then? If that one is the one that wins, it does certainly look like that. Holy shit! Well, pretty soon. Cool. Wasn't Time Splitters the first game to use dual analog control for FPS? I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure because it was I don't think it was a launch title for the PS2, but it came out like pretty early on the PS2. And wow, was there any Dual Shock games that used analog? Look, I can't, unless you count AVP. Did AVP? The PS2, the PS1 game, rather than the. Did the Jaguar have dual analog? No, it didn't. I don't know. My mind is going. My mind is zonking out. Right. Jaguar had a keypad. Yes, it did. That was its dual analog, the keypad. Right. Okay. I think my my voice is starting to go a little bit now again, and I also have run out of water. So maybe we should think about wrapping up the stream. Where are we at with the poll? Haze is definitely pulling away, to be honest. Rehydrate or dihydrate? We're definitely closer to dihydrate at the moment. Yeah, so what do you think about on the Onimusha 2 remaster not changing anything in terms of gameplay and mechanics? Personally, I find that a bit like disappointing. I wasn't particularly impressed with the Onimusha Warlords remaster, just because it like brought like nothing to the table, and like it had like weird, in changing it to be HD, it had all these weird like visual like issues that the original didn't have. Yeah, and I don't know, I found it a bit like boring. Like I would be perfectly happy to just play the original game. But there is value in those, because there's a lot of people who, like, you know, don't keep their consoles, and like they will happily rebuy a game that's not all that different like years later. You know, like with the Oblivion remaster, like it's not really like massively different to the original. Like I have the original on Steam. I can play that whenever I want. It's not dramatically different to the remaster. But there is something in like the newness of it, and like everybody playing it together like can make it like kind of fun. And I think hopefully Onimusha 2 brings some of that, because Onimusha 2 is like kind of a weird game. Like it's got some really, really cool ideas and some really wonky ideas as well. It would be kind of interesting to see like a new generation of people like checking it out, like seeing what they think of it. I think the back end of it, like the back half of it, is like not good, like not good at all. Like when it goes like really linear. I'm interested to see what people think of that. It'll probably lead to like a new wave of like YouTube videos. I think I'll be interested to see what people think. Yeah, I probably won't buy it though. I think I'm a bit like Onimusha out, especially Onimusha 2. Like I got so massively like fed up with the final boss in Onimusha 2. Like that was such bullshit. It took me so long to beat. I think it like soured my opinion on the game a little bit. Are you familiar with Valkyria Chronicles? I feel like that's a series of interesting release history. Yes, I played the first Valkyria Chronicles with a friend, and I enjoyed it quite a lot. It was kind of cool. I think, from what I remember from going back to it, it's quite slow now. Like, I think it would be a hard game to revisit because your expectation would be that it's faster. I think I remember that being the case. I think I remember even at the time thinking like, oh, this is quite slow. Like, it takes a long time to do anything in that game because of like loading screens and stuff. I might be wrong in saying that. It was a long time ago. It was when it first came out, and I haven't played any of them other than Valkyria Chronicles 1. It went like PSP for a while, didn't it? It like became a PSP series, I think. I'm not entirely sure. Right. Okay. So I think we will. I think we'll wrap things up there. To be honest, we've got the. There's the link to the Patreon poll for the next Patreon Curio. You can vote on the next Patreon exclusive. On the next Patreon exclusive video. If you use that code Bad Games, you get 50% off of a Patreon membership. You will need a Patreon membership to see the Patreon Curio when it's finished. Like, I know that might sound like paywalling and stuff, but like that's what keeps the channel going. Like, Patreon is what keeps the channel going. If you use that code, it's like $4, I think. So yeah, if you want to see them, and there's other videos on there as well. Hopefully that's something that sounds good. The next video is going to be Prey or BioShock. Imagine if the next one, I'm going to surprise all of you now by dropping a BioShock video out of nowhere after that conversation we've had. Well, no, the next video should be Prey. So yeah, that should hopefully be coming out in like maybe. Well, it shouldn't take too long, to be honest. Like, it'll depend on how long it takes me to do the Patreon Curio. Although the plan with that is for it to not be very long, for that to not take very long. Also, for it to not be very long. I mean, long by YouTube standards, not very long by my standards. That licensed game video is really good too. Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, I'm really proud of that video. I think that's a good one. Like, I think that was really fun to write as well, with all the like weird, stupid ideas that went into those licensed games. Writing about Sneak King, like properly doing critical analysis on Sneak King was like funny. I enjoyed doing that. But yeah, in the meantime, so it'll probably be a while till we do the next stream, because I'll do the next stream when Prey comes out. Interestingly, the director of Prey, Raphael Colantonio, is on record. I have the screenshot saying that there was no plans to ever call it Psychoshock because he wants it to be its own thing. He wanted to call the game Typhon, if you can believe, and Bethesda said no, you're going to be making Prey. He wanted it to be called Typhon, which is kind of a cool name for a game. Typhon is kind of is a cool name, but I think it might have struggled with some of the same problems of like people not knowing like what it is. Anyway, I'm spoiling my next video already. So yeah, next stream will probably be a while away, maybe like a month or so away. We're going to go pretty deep into like work mode going forwards. Get the Prey video together. I would love these streams to be a more regular thing. I really enjoy these. Well, I think the idea is for eventually, like I said, I think there'll be a stream after each video. But I think maybe getting something semi-regular up on Twitch might be quite fun. But not yet. I think we're a way off of that. What was I even saying? Yeah, the next stream will be a while away, doing Prey. The Patreon poll is going to be up for... I'll probably leave it up until maybe like Tuesday or so. I don't want it to be up for like super long because I want to get like cracking on that video. So I'll take it down at the end of tomorrow. But yeah, in the meantime, there's lots of stuff coming. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you for like leaving nice comments on it. Thank you for tuning into this live stream and hanging out with me tonight. It's been a lot of fun. Special thanks to the people that super chatted. I really appreciate that. That's super generous of you. And to everybody who supports the channel on Patreon, keeps it going. Yeah, all I can say is massive thank you from the bottom of my heart. Like you're giving me my dream job, and I hope you're getting some fun and interesting videos back in return. So yeah, I will catch you guys live, well, when I catch you. But in the meantime, have a really good week. I'll be in the Discord. We can hang out there. And yeah, have a great start to next week. Ta-ra!